Hey everyone, you're listening to the official podcast of 4PlayerNetwork.com. Check us out at that address for everything you need to know about our community, monthly giveaways, and nightly live streams. You can even support us on Patreon at patreon.com/4Player. And last but not least, you can catch the live recordings of these podcasts every single Thursday night on our Twitch channel. We hope to see you there. Enjoy. Now is the time for episode 520 of 4Player Podcast. My name is
520!
Yeah, not
Is
420.
it?
Not to be confused with 420. I think
Smolder it?
we may have already missed the boat on that one. I'm sorry.
Damn it.
I know. I'm so sorry.
Damn it.
My name is Nick Henderson. I am your host this evening. What did I just say? This evening is what I meant to say. I am.
Oh, no.
Oh, scrub it. Let's start the whole thing over. Joined to my right by Christopher Guthridge.
Hello. Hello, Nick. Sitting
Directly to his right, even though you may not be able to see him on the live screen, is Carlos.
Hey, what's up?
Carlos, thank you once again for joining us. Filling in for Nolan this week, or is it Brad? I don't know. Filling in for Nolan and or Brad. Both of them are out this week. And, of course, rounding out the couch is Christopher Davis.
Hello, hello.
And, boy, do we have some stuff to talk about tonight. Oh, God. What are we talking about?
I don't know. You're the host.
Oh, God.
Lead us.
Oh, my God. That's right.
Lead us into discussion.
Victory. Lead us to victory,
I will
sir.
lead everyone into victory. First of all, thank you everyone for joining us this evening live on Twitch, where you can watch us broadcast games and podcasts every single night.
Good, Nick. Good. Hit the pitch.
Yes.
Now do the feedback.
Wait, no, you gotta.
It is feedback. You shut up. It's
pitch our
feedback
Patreon.
time.
We got to pitch.
Oh, yeah.
Like, subscribe, share, and comment, and tweet.
Keep pitching.
We do have.
Keep dancing.
We do in fact have a Patreon. You can find us at. patreon.com/4player. We actually recorded a bonus podcast this week. I just want to go ahead and plug that. I'm in the middle of editing it now. Hopefully should make that live to patrons in the next couple days. Actually, probably about sometime tomorrow. And then we'll make it available to everybody else next week. But we sat down with Ed. Crispy and I sat down with Ed and talked about all the games that he saw at PAX West, because he was the only one who was able to go to PAX West this year.
Dude saw a lot of fucking games.
Dude
He
saw
did.
a lot.
He saw a lot of games. He saw so many games that I got bored halfway through and just like
Left. Just
ghosted.
ghosted.
I didn't even say goodbye or anything. I was just like, oh, I'm out.
Bored,
Done.
done, moving on.
Done.
No, in all seriousness though, he played a lot of shit. And we talked about a lot of shit. So I would download that podcast as soon as it becomes available.
Can
Also,
you give us some previews of what he saw, maybe?
Evil Within 2. Wolfenstein 2. He actually played Evil Within 2.
He saw all the twos.
He saw all the 2s.
They're putting
He
out
played some-
hours of footage of that game, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I watched about 10 minutes of it today, and then I was like, I don't know why I'm doing this to myself. I'm spoiling it. He played Cuphead. He played
Was he any
some
good
cool...
at it?
No, he said that game's fucking balls hard. It's gonna be hard. But there's a few really cool sounding indie games he played too. What was the one that it starts with an F? Oh god.
That's it. That's all you got.
That's
for me?
all I
It
got.
Starts with an F?
The one that looks like Alice in Wonderland.
The one that looks like it starts with an F.
You know what I'm talking
Fable.
about? No.
Fate.
No.
Bob?
No.
Faction.
That's an H.
He played Sea of Thieves. That sounded cool.
Oh yeah, he did play Sea of Thieves.
Anyways,
he had a lot to say about
Did he?
that.
A lot of cool stuff on that podcast. We'll get that up as soon as possible. I do want to also point out we have a Discord. If you guys are just joining us, we have a nice active community Discord at discord.gg/4player. We'd love to have you in there. But now, before we start talking about Divinity 2,
Man, the things that have been going on in our Discord.
Woo!
the first great war, is that what you
The
called
first
it?
great Discord war.
The first great Discord war over Divinity. All the D's, the Divinity, or the Destiny,
Destiny and Divinity.
the Dishonored. We're going to talk about some Dishonored today.
Dishonored was innocent. Nothing happened to Dishonored.
Yeah, I know. It's just funny that all these things coming up start with D, the letter D, as in Discord, as in
Everyone's
Dishonored.
always fighting over that.
You know,
Yeah.
Discord does mean, like, strife.
Yes, it does. Disharmony.
Conflict.
Yes.
Shit. But yeah, we're going to talk about all that stuff today. But before we get to that, I want to read some feedback, some comments from
Hold fast, my brothers.
our last episode 519. Of course, if there's anything that we talk about that you would like to make your opinions known about, you can leave us a comment at 4playernetwork.com on the post for this episode. And it also enters your name in the drawing for the month, where you could possibly win a free game of your choosing. No
Any
less.
game you want.
Up to a $60 value.
Up to a $60 value.
None of this like crazy collector's edition shit. That's not happening.
Anything
It has been tried.
your heart desires.
But anything your sweetheart desires. Our winner from last month actually chose Mario plus Rabbids,
Wow.
which is a game I'm almost done with, by the way. That game's-
Uninspired.
I almost bought it like a week ago.
Nick, that's a pretty good game, right?
It's a great game.
Cool.
I'm gonna finish it in the next couple days. I think. Haven't had a whole lot of time to play
I
this
look
week.
forward to borrowing your copy, and
That's not happening. I'm sorry.
god damn it.
I'm sorry. Moving on. Feedback from our last episode starts with Sean Gillies. What is this? What are y'all doing?
Just read the feedback,
They're
Nick.
playing footsie.
Perhaps.
They're gonna fuck in the second half.
Oh, I mean, Carlos?
hole's gonna get filled.
Carlos is invisible. Oh my god.
Carlos painted his dick green. You'd never be able to tell.
Oh my god.
How do you not know what it is?
For those not
It's
watching
out
the
right
live
now.
recording,
Can't see.
for those not watching the live recording, we use a green screen in our live podcast recording room,
All 3
and
inches.
Carlos is wearing pretty much from head to toe bright green. It's pretty fantastic. Anyway, Sean Gillies says, perhaps it was a different situation here in Australia.
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 Why'd you have to throw in the
Australia.
accent?
But
Put some shrimp
Australia.
on the barbie. I'm sorry.
Hey, portmanteau.
Sean, this is not me. This is these
No,
depraved.
it was kind of you because
These
you started with the accent.
Oh, but I didn't say throw some shrimp on the Barbie. That's,
You just did.
I mean, but not in the accent.
You were the only one who said that.
Oh my god, fuck you guys. Sean says, perhaps it was a different situation here in Australia, but the 360 cover art for Catherine could be flipped inside out to reveal Catherine. As in, C could be flipped to K. Was that not the case in America? Holy shit.
Was it?
I don't know. Does he have
that?
Does he have Catherine on the shelf over there? Oh god, I don't know.
See it.
I've got it back at the apartment.
I mean, so do
Why
I.
don't you run and go get it real quick?
Yeah, sure. It'll take me an hour.
Oh my
get
god.
there.
Can somebody in chat confirm or deny whether or not this is the case here in America? Because
Don't bother checking. Just confirm or deny.
it does make sense. I'm gonna feel stupid if I didn't know that, because it's been sitting on my shelf since the day
No,
it
it
came out.
doesn't have it.
God damn it, Nolan, failing us. But yeah, that's a good
We've
question.
only got time for good James.
We'll have an answer to that shortly. Mirasaku? Oh, I don't know how to say your name. I'm gonna call you Mira. Mira.
Is it?
I don't know. How do you say that? How do you say that, Crispy?
Niresiku?
Yeah, what Crispy said. Says, long time on and off listener. First time commenter. Just wanted to say I appreciate the discussion about Last Day of June. It completely flew under my radar, and it seems like it'd be right up my alley. I'm looking forward to picking it up soon. Keep up the great work, guys. I still haven't played that. I have a code for it. Oh, is your mic? Don't tell me it's doing the thing. Oh, your mic's just too far away from your mouth. Probably.
So close.
Why do they have to be so close?
No, don't do that.
This is an ASMR
Wait,
podcast now.
talking to it again?
Why do they have to be so close, Nick?
Okay.
This is now an ASMR.
You guys are killing me.
No, it's not.
Oh my god. Anyways, thank you for listening.
I'm gonna give you a shave.
Okay, is your mic on?
You hear that?
No.
The blade.
I think, dude, something's wrong with your mic.
Oh no. Oh no! Ah! Just talk louder!
No, mute it before you do that. Oh my god. Oh my god. I thought
I don't know which one I am. Nope. I don't know which one you is.
what
What are
is
you looking at me for?
what is happening right now?
You allowed this podcast.
We at this point we have replaced the microphones, we have replaced the cables. How the fuck is that
We
still
need to
happening?
replace the crispy. If you ask me.
Wow.
All right, say something, Crispy. Say something, Crispy.
What's there left to say?
All right, there we
I
go.
mean,
You're right.
it's kind of all been said, hasn't it? Hasn't it, Carlos?
We were talking about shit about In-N-Out for a long
Mocking Mo
For like an
said.
hour.
Mocking Mo says, at precisely 56 minutes and 11 seconds into last episode, our host Nick said a specific thing about Octopath Traveler. He said, and I quote, "And it's a Switch exclusive, which is nice." He put in all caps, which is nice.
Oh, I bet you were wrong about that.
Explain yourself, Mr. Console Elitist. What is nice about that? The podcast needs an answer. Is this guy just being like he feels like everything, like there shouldn't be any such thing as exclusives? That's kind of how I'm reading this.
Nick, why are you so interested in building barriers between communities?
Yeah.
There would be
Put
no
up walls.
There would be no
Nick
point.
only feels comfortable in a world where there are haves and there are have-nots, and he sees himself on the side of the fence with the other haves, looking down on the have-nots. How bougie of you.
Terrible.
Now your mic's really loud. I don't know what's
I
going on.
don't know what
It doesn't
to do.
matter.
Every week it's Krispy's mic. I don't understand.
Well, that's only
sorry.
because I'm sitting in Brad's spot.
Yeah.
It does that.
He wants me to explain. There would be no point in having different consoles at all if they all played the same things. 100%. Like if everything was the same across all consoles, what would be the point of having any different consoles? So to say that Nintendo's always struggled to have, software to sell their platform, and they've struggled with third-party developer support for years and years and years. So to see a third-party developer come and make a exclusive title for the Switch to give people something
Console exclusive.
console exclusive, yes,
Means it's probably going to go on PC.
probably, yeah, at
And
some
it's
point.
probably eventually going to get like a special edition that's going to go to the other platforms.
That's all. I mean, most
This is Square Enix. They are a third-party developer, publisher.
most games appear on PC at some point or another, anyways.
So what
usually.
you're saying is that you were so eager to run out and drop your $250 for your Switch that now you need other people to not be able to play a certain game for you to feel justified in that purchase?
Yes.
Yes.
Terrible.
Oh my goodness.
That is some fucked up shit, my
First of
dude.
all, I said it was a Switch exclusive, which is nice. I did not necessarily say it was a console exclusive. I was just saying it's nice to see something that console players can have to play on the Switch, right? Gives people a reason to want to buy a Switch if you were indeed going to be playing on a console.
I feel like I should roll back the tape and see exactly what was said.
Even he wrote it here. He said it's a Switch exclusive. He put Switch. Yeah, it's fine.
Trust but
fuck
verify.
off. It's great. That's a great thing. That's a good thing. It's great that Nintendo has a game that is only playable on their console. If it comes out on PC, it's still a game that you can only play on Switch as a console.
I don't know. Doesn't sit well with me. What's the next piece of feedback?
The TikTok man says, thanks for the discussion of Mario plus Rabbids. Although as a big fan of the new XCOM games on PC, I'm still struggling to decide if I'll find Mario plus Rabbids fun or boring. It sounds like the progression isn't deep enough for it to be interesting. And if I understand correctly, there's no weapon choice for each character. That's incorrect. There is, in fact, weapon choices for each character. But maybe the puzzliness of it makes it interesting enough. Hard decision between getting this or the new XCOM expansion. Oh, if it's really a decision between buying a new XCOM expansion and buying Mario plus Rabbids?
Buy the expansion.
Yeah, by the expansion,
It sounds to me like if you're specifically looking for.
If you're looking for something to justify that Switch purchase.
First of all,
That's pretty true.
I think it's kind of unfair that Mario and Rabbids is going to continuously be compared to XCOM. I know they're asking for it by making the game like that, but
Like what?
like XCOM.
Okay.
God damn it, Chrissy. You know what I mean. But like, it's like that's kind of like saying if someone likes XCOM, they should. It's probably too it's kind of implying it like Mario plus Rabbids is too shallow for them to enjoy. When I don't necessarily think that's the case.
No, that's not true.
I think they're both very enjoyable for very different reasons. And in fact, I think it kind of sucks if you're looking at it strictly as you have to choose one or the other. I think they're both enjoyable. Not to mention, Mario plus Rabbids has a lot of stuff going on outside of the actual battles themselves. Like you spend a lot of time running around the world solving platforming puzzles and stuff and collecting stuff in the world. And you are in fact collecting weapons. The only thing about weapons in Mario plus Rabbids is that you literally save money to buy the next weapon in it every single time. It's not like stats are being traded off. It's always like if you get the next one up and they're all in a line, right? And if you buy the next one, it is stronger than the one that was just before it.
Sure.
And it's just like
It's a straight linear progression.
Straight linear progression of weapons.
And either way, just go ahead and buy Rabbids because you know that Firaxis is going to port XCOM 2 and War of the Chosen to the Switch anyway.
You think?
It's going to happen.
Why do you
They
think
said that XCOM 2 was not going to be ported, and look what happened.
I mean, first of all, they have like Mario maybe has created an audience for XCOM on the Switch. Not to mention, if they can,
2K wants that Switch money.
do you hear that Doom actually runs fairly nice on the
It's
Switch?
supposedly a good port.
If they can play Doom on the Switch, there's nothing.
Doesn't it
preventing
run
XCOM
at 30
from
frames per second?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Then I would not call that a good port of Doom.
Damn.
Oh man, throwing shade.
Let me do a comparison here. Okay. Titanfall launched on the Xbox One, 60 frames per second. The 360
It
version
did not
was-
run at 60 frames per second on the Xbox One.
Yes, it did.
It was like 45.
whatever. Okay.
It's still higher than 30.
The 360 version ran at 30 frames per second. And they
Okay.
were both pretty fucking good. Weren't they?
Yeah, but this is a game that its original launch had it running at 60 frames per second, so the whole experience it's based around that, you know? Like everyone that's already played Doom has done so at 60 frames per second because it was 60 frames on PC, Xbox, and PS4. Like it's the definitive way to play that game.
But cutting the frame rate isn't a bad thing if the rest of the games runs smoothly and it plays well.
But a fast gameplay and responsiveness is such an important part of that game that
Are you talking about Titanfall
Doom.
or Doom? I'm so confused now.
We're talking about frames.
Yeah, we're talking about frames.
30, 45, 60, it's all the same shit.
I think it'll work
I'm
out
just kidding.
just fine.
It really is not.
You're just a bit of an elitist.
I mean, I'm just saying, dog. You know, I'm just saying.
He's a connoisseur.
Like it's almost like if they were to say, "Oh, we got a new Call of Duty game. We're gonna port it to the Switch. It's gonna run."
Dude, what the hell's going on? First of all, Carlos's mic was like so quiet, and now it's like peaking. What is going
because
on?
now he has passion.
Yeah, like Call of Duty. Like Call of Duty's always been a 60 frames per second experience. Like they never compromise on that. So if you were to say, "Okay, we got this port of Call of Duty, but it doesn't run at 60 frames per second," you would definitely say, "Oh, it's an inferior port." It's a port, sure, whatever. But I think it's the same case with Doom in that it's expected to be, and it should be 60 frames per second.
I can keep turning them down.
I think considering the technical prowess of the game, the fact that it runs so goddamn well on all the other systems, and that the Switch is, technically speaking, kind of an inferior console in comparison to all the others.
Yeah, and
Technologically speaking, maybe.
It's like
Talking core
drinking.
clock and GPU
Not
and
to
things
mention-
like
it's-
that.
It's like drinking a fine wine from a paper cup.
And what's also a little bit surprising about this is that, and correct me if I'm
rude.
wrong, Wolfenstein, the New Order, it was 60 frames on last gen consoles as well. I mean, it didn't look as good, but they were adamant about keeping that game at 60 frames.
Dude, you know what really sucked about Wolfenstein? Picking up ammo.
Press X.
Press
that
X.
That's not a problem.
That sole thing
Are you
kept that
making-
game out of my top
Are you
10
throwing
list.
shade,
So
Crispy?
bad. It's so bad.
Hey, that's not a problem.
It's like
in the new
that
Colossus.
game must have been made by
That's
Nazis.
gone. That's gone. That's not in the new Colossus. You can just run over to pick up stuff.
I can't tell if Crispy's being serious or taking pot shots at Brad.
it's
from
the
distance.
Brad seat. It's the Brad seat doing this to him.
Crispy's sitting in Brad's seat, and suddenly it's just like...
I just like it when Carlos cares about things. I'm just trying to keep him up, keep him hot, you know? Keep him angry.
I see. Well, one thing of note about all that the positive Doom stuff that I've been reading today, they've only let people play it undocked, like in handheld mode. So like how that game is going to look and run once you dock it and you're playing it on a TV, that's I think where you're gonna truly notice the difference between like PS4 and Switch.
I think
I'm sure it looks great running if the frame rate's fine. I'm sure it looks and plays great in handheld mode. But the moment you dock that thing and it
Yeah,
has
but
to blow
at
it
that
up,
point, why not just play the game on your PS4 if you have one?
well, there are people out there who don't have PS4s
Yeah.
but have Switches. Not everybody has
Fucking
both.
goobers.
You can't take your PS4 on the go.
Yeah,
You can't play it on a rooftop party that you and your friends just, spontaneously throw together one Friday night.
Play
because
1-2
That's how
Switch.
interesting your life is.
That's very true. In what other way can you have Doom 2016 on the go?
I don't know, watch some fucking YouTube videos or something.
Damn.
That
that's not even playing a game.
That sounds preferable to playing it on the Switch. Anyways, thank you guys for your feedback from last week.
Whoa,
What?
you're saying that
What?
it's not valid to enjoy a video game by watching somebody else stream it?
You do miss something of that.
Wow.
Because it's your choice, your interaction.
Buddy,
I mean, it's like you're throwing
Buddy.
shade at all these lovely
you're
people.
biting the hand that feeds.
I'm not dissing our audience. I'm saying they are missing out on an experience. At
Well,
least part of one.
we need to move on. Thank you guys for your feedback. Of course, like I said, if you want to leave a comment for tonight's episode, you can find that post at 4playernetwork.com. Leave us some feedback, and we will get to it at the beginning of next episode. But now there are games to talk about. I kind of want to start with Divinity.
Oh, by all means, please do.
Divinity.
Please
Is that it?
do.
Crispy.
Are we going to? Really?
We're going to start with Divinity 2.
Are we?
Sorry, it's Divinity Original Sin.
Divinity Original
2.
Sin 2. There was already a Divinity 2, I think.
Oh, whoa, shit,
Wasn't
really?
there? Divine Divinity?
I have no
Divinity
idea.
There's
something?
been several. There's Divinity, Beyond Divinity, Divinity 2, Divine Divinity,
Divine Divinity.
and now Divinity Original
Maybe
Sin.
not that specific. I don't know.
Divine divinity.
Oh, okay, you
That was
guys
like a
want
Diablo
you want to talk about
ripoff.
Divinity Original Sin 2? Fine. Let's fucking talk about Divinity Original Sin 2.
Last
I've
chance to
been-
not do it.
I have been dreading this conversation all week. Oh, my cishet narrative. No. But I
Sorry.
love my cishet narrative.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for the message, Reborn.
So, oh shit, man, I fucked up hard in this footage.
You told me to start here.
I did.
It's a great fucking
I did.
footage.
I did. So I'm gonna start this conversation by saying that I have not played a whole lot of this game. As you can see, I'm still in Fort Joy. I think this playthrough I'm at like maybe 3 or 4 hours, and most of that's just me fucking around, not really like doing anything, and a lot of like reloading and redoing stuff. Okay, so that's awesome.
Damn it, Carlos.
Nice. So I don't have like a holistic view of the game yet. I never really played the first game more than 20 minutes, so I don't really know what the long term of that is. This is my first earnest deep dive into Divinity
world of
Original
Divinity.
Sin. Yeah. So I'm gonna preface the things I'm about to say with that. I'm also going to say that I am very much enjoying the game right now. I love it. I think there's a lot of really great ideas. This kind of represents, in a large part, something that I wished to play for a long time but didn't really know where to look. Okay?
This is
You know what I'm
gonna
saying?
be Great.
I feel like because of maybe some personal interactions over the last week, people maybe have the impression that I don't like the game and that maybe I'm a little biased towards it. So I assure you that's not the case. So if I have some criticisms, please hold your torches and pitchforks. Okay.
Fair enough.
I
Words.
don't like elves with long necks.
Oh, what the fuck does that even mean?
No, I'm joking. Actually, this game does a lot of really interesting twists on classic fantasy conventions. For instance, the elves in the Divinity world, they look a little more complicated than just people with pointy ears, as Victus pointed out in Discord the other day. And one of the interesting things about them is that they can actually eat flesh. They like to eat like flesh,
Like human flesh?
right? Well, yeah, yes, absolutely. It doesn't have to be human, but they like to eat all sorts of flesh, and they can actually, if they eat somebody's head, they can learn things about that person's life. They can experience memories that person had, and that is turned into an in-game mechanic whereby if you find somebody's severed head and you feed it to the elf character in your party, or yourself if you happen to be an elf, you can actually learn skills from that.
That's
which
fucking
is so
cool.
fucking cool. I've already gotten to experience a little bit of that with Sabine. And that like little shit like that is just like really really neat. And this right here is something that I know Brad has talked a lot about as being like kind of a high point of the game, and I do kind of agree in that the world is set up in such a sim like manner, like such a simulation like manner, that you can circumvent things that would be like hard systems in other games. You know, like in another game, if there's a door you need to get through and the door's locked, you have to find the fucking key.
Yeah.
You know, in this game, that door is made of wood. So, you know, maybe if you hit it with your sword a bunch, or, you know, shoot some magic at it, after a while it'll break.
Or light it on fire.
Which is what this is me just... Actually, I tried lighting the door on fire and it wouldn't catch. I don't know what that's all about. I was a little disappointed by that. I feel like the verisimilitude of the simulation kind of broke down when the door wouldn't catch on fire. But, you know, whatever. Big picture, what I really like about the game is that it's essentially single-player Dungeons and Dragons.
What?
Okay? Big picture, something that kind of puts me off about the game is that it's single-player Dungeons and Dragons. Okay? Does that make sense?
It sounds like a love-hate.
It's not a love-hate thing. It's just that, like, this is the kind of game that I was looking for when I was getting really into D&D last year. I tried playing, like, Baldur's Gate and stuff like that, and that was fine, but I had a really hard time kind of, you know, penetrating it. Plus, Baldur's Gate is based on D&D Advanced 2nd Edition, which still use Thaco, which is just absolute opaque black magic. It's so confusing. I've never gotten my head around it. So I had a hard time kind of enjoying the mechanics of that game.
Oh, good lord, you finally made it through the door.
This game is pretty much thoroughly riffed, R-I-F-F-E-D, off of like the D20 system that Wizards of the Coast has been using since 3rd edition of Dungeons & Dragons. Closely in line with 5th edition. So much so that they have an entire game mode where you can essentially just play D&D using the game's tool set. And that is fantastic. That is really cool. I haven't had a chance to actually play it.
What does that mean exactly?
So what that means is, like, if you go into the Game Master mode, like, and let's say I'm preparing a game for you guys, okay? I will... You'll all load into this campaign that I've set up, and what you might see starting off would be like, say, a world map, right? And we'll all be in a voice chat, and I'll be talking to you, and I will still be doing my Dungeon Master thing where I'm like reading to you guys, I'm telling you guys about things. It's just while I'm doing that, I have visual aids to kind of present shit to you. I can like show you a world map, and then you guys can like click on something on the world map and say like, okay, we want to go there. And then when you click and decide that the party's going to go there, like I would load up a level of the game that you guys can actually walk around and explore, get into combat, interact with NPCs, all sorts of stuff. And the whole thing is being controlled by the Game Master player. They have an entire suite of tools, abilities, powers, item generators, all sorts of things to make the whole thing run. Yeah, the only real tangible difference between playing this and playing a game of like 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons is that the combat is going to work more like Divinity rules. The combat's going to work on Divinity rules, which is a little different than the way Dungeons & Dragons work. For instance, the biggest, most obvious change is that Divinity uses action point system, whereby a character has X amount of points per turn, and they can do whatever in whatever order to consume those points. In D&D, it's more like you can take a move action, and you can take a regular action, which would be attacking, which would be casting a spell, doing this, doing that. You might have certain conditions like any bonus actions or reactions, stuff like that. That part of it, that action economy, doesn't really translate over into Divinity.
I would suggest the idea that there's probably going to be a mod eventually that'll
maybe
change those rules.
Maybe, but I mean, like, people really seem to dig the combat mechanic of this game, and for good reason. It works really fine. In fact, the whole game is a fucking charming display of talent and love for this type of game. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many different little details, stuff that, like, I can't even begin to describe. Like, I mean, I don't know, like,
I have a question.
God, I don't even know. Just like the way that like quests are set up, the way that there's so many different like the way that going down into this dungeon was part of the main quest that I'm trying to do to escape Fort Joy, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of different roads that'll lead you here, a lot of different interactions with NPCs that'll get you to this point. The one I happened to go with was I was playing hide and seek with this little kid, and then he goes and hides in a place that like I can't get to unless I have a shovel. So I went exploring around for a while. I eventually found a shovel. I went back, I dug up the hole that I needed to dig to go after this kid, and then turns out it was he was hiding in this like ancient ruin, like 1,000-year-old ruin that had an undead dude like pinned to a wall in there. And then I go in there, and the kid basically had like tricked me to come in there to help his undead friend like be free of the spear that's pinning him to a wall. So and that character was really cool and really kind of charming and funny.
His undead friend?
Yeah, it was like an undead knight who was petrified and pinned to a wall by a giant spear. So I had to bring in a character that had a certain strength that could remove the spear and free the guy. And then that guy tells me how to get in Fort Joy because he wants me to do something while I'm in there, which, is I haven't done yet.
Quests beget quests beget quests. Yeah.
Everything begets everything. The quest system is really interesting, and it turns everything back in on itself. And that is what's really cool, because it means that if you a lot of these quests run into conflict with each other. I had three different party members or NPCs in the world who were very much concerned with this one NPC in the camp who happened to be psychic, okay?
Yeah.
One of them wanted to consult him to, like, learn something about their personal quest. One of them wanted him to help rescue one of their friends who was being held prisoner by somebody else. It's a little convoluted. And then, like, the other person wanted me to kill that person, So obviously I can't please everybody.
Yeah.
So it's good that these quests have different paths that are very looped in a very satisfying manner, so that if I appease the character that wanted to kill that special NPC, I can still do what I need to do and give all these outstanding quest lines still like a satisfying end, instead of it just being like, okay, well that's done. Don't ever worry about it again. It's just a loose thread, which I don't like that. But yeah, the way the story and the quest system is panning out is really cool. In fact, the only issues I have with the game so far, the only problems I have with the game so far, are very minute, and nothing is really big enough to kind of hurt my enjoyment of the game.
Dude, this game is getting lots of like super high, not that it, like super high praise. I'm hearing people throw around crazy descriptors for this game.
I don't like. I'm coming into this backwards. I'm coming into this like. I knew this was a thing. I knew people were excited about it. I've seen it at like 2 or 3 different PAXs now.
Yeah.
And it always looks really enjoyable. I was really excited when they first started talking about Game Master Mode, but like I just wasn't caught up in the hype because I'm not really a CRPG guy.
Yeah.
I'm playing it, I'm liking it, I'm really enjoying it. I will say that I think my biggest criticism with the game so far has nothing to do with the game, but maybe more the enthusiastic fan base of the game, because this is kind of one of those games that the people who really like it have a really bougie attitude about the whole thing. You know what I'm saying?
No, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I know. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah. So that's been so like
Dark Souls people are kind of the same way.
Yeah, it's kind of
There's
a Dark Souls
lot of audiences out there that are very much.
It's kind of an overlap between like the Dark Soulsy group, but I feel like more of an outsider this time, so maybe it feels a little more stringent to me.
That Dark Souls attitude also is kind of tapered off over the years,
yeah,
and maybe
sure.
This is just kind of like
it's a
sudden renewed.
I mean, Dark Souls has also gotten really mainstream too. Everyone was playing Dark Souls, but this is still a bastion of PC elitism,
Yes.
You've played Dark Souls.
There's
a
lot of
Dark Souls blindfolded with bananas.
I don't know if you saw Jim Sterling's video out today. A lot of the comments he was pulling for
Commentocracy.
That Commentocracy video were from the first Divinity Original Sin, and like that's totally like kind of how I feel whenever people talk about this game. But more personal baggage than anything. In the game, my my biggest thing when I'm playing this game is that like half the time it just makes me want to go play D&D. You know, it's like what a football player must feel like playing Madden NFL. You know, it's like, man, this is a really
it's like when you're watching porn, you're just like, God, I just wish I wish I could having sex.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that. So like I kind of have that.
But you still like porn.
I think the only thing I do love porn. Yeah, it's great.
Right? Am I right?
I think the only thing that like the only like nitpick I have, and it's not even a nitpick, it's just that like maybe this just like isn't for me and I don't find it that fun as other people do, is the element system. I think it's great. I think it's a wonderful idea, and the way that the different elemental magics work in conjunction with each other is really, really, really cool. It's a really neat idea. But it absolutely completely dominates your strategy and the flow of battle. Mm-hmm. It's all about like, okay, well, I'm gonna start throwing magic around, and I'm playing a wizard too, so like all of my main character's attacks are spells, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm gonna start throwing magic around, and it's gonna start throwing fire everywhere, or it's gonna start throwing, you know, rain everywhere, or I'm gonna freeze everything, and like I feel like every single battle I've gotten into has devolved into primarily a struggle to not catch on fire too much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because there's
and it's cool, but like I mean, people are saying that this game is like hundreds of hours. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like that's gonna get old, you know. But maybe by the time I get later on in the game, there will be more stuff in game to help me deal with that. You know,
yeah.
That might be. I might get to a point pretty soon where it's just like, oh, fire! I stand in fire all the time. Who cares? You know.
My roommate he bought the game and he's fallen down the rabbit hole. I'm not certain I'll ever see him again. But the way he plays, and this is what he tells me, is that he uses transformative magic as like his go-to get out of battle.
Wait, he uses what
easily?
Magic?
Transformative. So the way I understand the game, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that enemies have physical armor and magic armor.
They do, and that kind of plays a lot into the meta of like how you're tackling certain enemies, because like I've got this character over here who all of his damage is going to affect magic armor or HP, and then I've got this character, but he can't do anything about like physical armor, and I've got this character over here who can take care of physical armor, but he can't deal with magic armor. You know what I'm saying?
So what my roommate will do is he will wear down his physical armor until he has none, and then he will immediately turn that enemy into a chicken.
Yeah.
What? And then they're no longer a threat.
That's cool.
He's defeated a giant boss by turning it into a chicken.
And
That's
is so
cool.
fucking awesome that you can do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's great. That is some D&D shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of spirit of like, I want a game that rewards you for
experimentation.
There's no right or wrong answer.
None
you know?
of this. You can't use this magic on this boss because it's the boss bullshit. It's like try it and it might work.
Right. They don't gimp you in certain ways. You know, when you're fighting a boss, and that is so fucking cool. And that is what I think. I think that's what resonates with everybody who plays this game. You know, it's all these different emergent moments that just keep popping up. I mean, I've already failed several quest lines in this game, but I haven't really felt the need to save scum it or anything like that, because I feel like, oh, that's just kind of the game, you know, that's just part of the story of my character, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that is something that I really enjoy out of D&D, and that's something that I'm getting a lot of here. Now, of course, you know, this is still a video game, so there's still constraints placed on it that like a tabletop RPG wouldn't necessarily have, especially as far as like social interactions go. I feel like a tabletop RPG like D&D is split pretty evenly into thirds. You know, you have your combat, you have exploration, you have social stuff. I feel like here it's a little more like 40-40-20, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot more combat, it's a lot more exploration, it's less in the way of social interactions. But that is really just part of the nature of being a video game. You know, there's not really anything you can do about that because you don't have another person there literally like making up NPC responses for you, you know? But
So you've been playing single player, right?
I've been playing single player.
Yeah.
And I've been rolling, like, the other thing that's kind of like wigging me out about this game is everyone is really focusing very, very, very heavily on like what classes they're going to make what NPC characters. Because a big thing in this game is that all of your party members, right? They all have default classes, but they can just as easily, when you first attain them, they can just as easily be made into anything. So the person who's like the wizard character, if you pick him up in your game, you could be like, oh, well, I really think that your talents would be interesting to pair with like a knight class, so I'll have you be a knight. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And a lot of the discussion I'm reading and seeing online is based around like what class did you pick for this character? What class did you pick for that character? How precisely are you tuning your party? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I've kind of not been doing that at all. I've been picking default for everybody and kind of just mixing and matching. You know, as they are, and I haven't restarted or anything like that, and I feel like everybody else who's playing this game, by the time they've gotten to where I am, has restarted 3 times. You know, just because they're so busy tweaking and refining stuff. So that's a little concerning, and that kind of more elucidates, or it illuminates kind of the difference in mentality between me and between, I think, a lot of people who are just like can't keep it in their fucking pants over this shit, is that this game is for people who like D&D. Specifically, it's for people who like power gaming in D&D. This game...
Power gaming?
Power gaming, as in manipulating systems, making choices for the sole specific reason of eking out every last ounce of power, survivability, and durability from a character. Power gaming, as in like
Basically meta.
almost, yeah. Well, no. Almost like I mean, it's min maxing. It's you know, like twinking and twinking. It's min maxing for sure, and that's something that like at a philosophical level, I kind of, you know, I just don't. It's you know, not that I have any problem with it, I just don't do it myself. I don't agree with it, and that's kind of one thing I liked about D&D, is that you can play it as a min-maxer, or you can play it as like a complete like free, just, you know, like just do what you're gonna do and the chips fall where they may. Like, it's more interesting to play an imperfect character than a perfect character. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's a kind of mentality that'll get punished a bit more here in Divinity Original Sin. There's less room to just kind of have fun for role-playing reasons. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Which is one of the questions I was going to ask is, you know...
But that's not really criticism about the game. That's just more of like where I'm coming from.
I mean, like, you know, this game to me looks interesting. The thing is, if I was to pick this game up and play it, it would be the first game like this I think I've ever played. And it certainly looks interesting. It's a beautiful looking game. Looks like it has a lot of cool systems and stuff.
This might be throwing you into the deep end, though.
Yeah, that's kind of my concern, because one, I've been very vocal.
I honestly think I don't. I think this is a great way.
Really?
If you wanted to play a very true to form CRPG experience, but one that is has the benefit of 30 years of design philosophy, you know, from you know, you don't have to dip back to like the 80s to find a good one, you know what I'm saying? And B, also is pretty, I mean, I don't know about welcoming, but it's definitely like, it's definitely less
demanding.
It's less. There's less of like a barrier to entry. There's less of a gatekeeping. You know what I'm saying?
The thing is, one thing I've been very vocal about, and like one thing that stresses me, the thing that stresses me out the most in any kind of RPG, and this is one of the few things that almost prevented me from playing something like Dark Souls, is I don't like spending a shit ton of time in menus. Like, I don't like looking, like, just thumbing through stats and like tons and tons of armor pieces and weapons to try and figure out what's the best combination to make my character. The thing that I love the most is actually just being in the game, running around the world in combat, talking to people, progressing a story, and the less time I spend in a menu, the better to me. But this looks to me like it might be very
I don't think
deep in that kind of stuff.
I mean, like, like I said, I'm kind of playing this my own way, which is kind of freewheel compared to what I've seen people talking about online, you know? And I think the game is responding well enough, at least early on to that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think this is a game that requires you to min-max. I just think that is something that draws people to the game.
Because it's a great game for that kind of thing.
The people who are into that kind of thing can really, 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 really dig into that here.
Yeah.
Like, you can take this as deep as you want, basically.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you have to. I'm not saying that that's even necessarily the right way to play the game. I think the game is maybe concerning itself a lot with rewarding that kind of gameplay. But if you didn't want to play that way, I still think there's reason to play it. I still think there's something for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Is this like I guess
It just seems like you have to min-max because everybody who plays the game min-maxes because they're all a bunch of elitist pricks, you know?
Okay, the one thing you haven't said in this entire conversation is what your character is and how you're playing it.
So my character is I started with I made my own character. That's a big thing here is the choice to either custom create your character or to pick one of the origins.
Yeah.
So any of the companion characters in the game. Think of like Mass Effect, all right?
Yeah.
Any of the companion characters in the game, you can select their story, their origin for your character. So like the characters I have here are the Red Prince, who's the lizard guy,
Yeah.
Beast, the dwarf, and this human wayfarer named Ifan. I can't remember what his last name is. It's like 3 words. If I wanted to, I could pick any one of those. Like I could say, like, I want to be the Red Prince, right?
Yeah.
So that my character would be a lizard person. I'd still get to customize what they look like and what their skills are and everything like that. But then that character would be like my character would be that character. So everyone in the world, he would have those relationships and the backstory and those associations that character comes with in the game. It'd be like playing Mord in Mass Effect.
Yeah.
You know. So it's kind of cool that you can do that, but I chose to custom make a character. I made a human wizard who is currently skilled in hydrosophist and aerothergy, so water magic and wind magic.
Yeah.
Which has been working out great. Although, you know, that was another thing too. I think their magic system's a little weird, just how they break everything up because the elemental thing is such a big deal in combat. It's such a big deal to like the whole flow of the game. All magic is broken into elemental schools instead of them being like completely different schools. So like if you were looking at like Dungeons and Dragons, right? Most of these spells that you're using in the different schools in Divinity would all be in one school called Evocation. You know, a lot of your fire spells, a lot of like lightning spells, stuff like that. Destructive spells.
Yeah.
This game kind of bases everything by element. I think that's kind of weird. I think that's kind of, but again,
When you say element, is it like a
no? I mean, I'm talking about like earth, wind, water.
Yeah.
fire.
I was gonna say, does that mean it's a rock paper scissors situation with water trumps fire?
It
something
does
like that?
feel a little Pokemon-y at times, where it's like, okay, this guy is throwing fire around, which means I need to use a lot of water water power.
Okay.
I'm not saying that it feels as flat or as
Because that's like as basic as it gets.
Yeah, I'm not saying it feels as flat or as shallow as Pokemon combat feels sometimes, but in a grander scheme of like the flow of combat, it does kind of feel a little more like my moves are being dictated by. Well, I mean, of course they would be, but you know, I don't know. Like everything is more dictated by the elements on the field than necessarily what the enemy is doing or where they're positioned at a certain time. You know what I'm saying? Maybe everybody in the world disagrees with me on that. I just feel like I'm not as into the way that dominates combat, because it feels like most strategy is just driving back towards getting elemental modifiers in the environment, penning enemies in, and then like finishing them off. And like I don't feel like I can do anything really crazy different, you know?
Does anyone in this game
But then
actually
again, I don't
play
know.
with like melee characters? Because I feel like every time I see anyone fighting in this game, it's always magic users.
Yeah, I have. So my party right here is my main character is the wizard. I set Red Prince to his default, which is a warrior, so he's like straight up sword and board. Beast I have is set to his default, which is a battle mage, so he does use magic, but he also dual wields axes.
Yeah.
And everything for him is up close. And then Ifan is a wayfarer, which is basically like a ranger. He uses a crossbow.
So if you, character creation, creating your character versus choosing a companion's creation and history and things like that. When you create your own character, does that? Because I'm certain, like in the story and what in the quests that you'll get, that your companion characters will have stories, interactions, and like personal stuff that you couldn't get if you were doing a creative character, right? Or
There
or
are,
you just a
but
blank
they
slate?
also have this system called tags.
Okay.
So you can add tags to your character that kind of dictate who they are in social situations.
Okay.
So for instance, my character is a wizard, but I kind of decided that maybe he's like a disgraced like scholar. Like maybe once he worked in sort of like some form of academia, like magical academia, and then was disgraced for whatever he was doing and kind of took up more of a roguish
D&D
roguish
background
lifestyle.
and origin, yeah.
Exactly. So his tags include scholar and rogue. So when I'm talking to people, there will be specific options for those. You know, if somebody says something, I can say as a scholar, like, oh, well, you know, judging by this, I would say, you know, something like that. Or I can answer as a rogue. So they have these things that, like, even though your character doesn't have a voice, your character doesn't have a professionally written background, you can still kind of form kind of attitude they have in social situations and what their personality is with these tags. Now, each of the main party characters also has a specific tag that is their name. So like the Red Prince has the Red Prince tag, which means there are a lot of situations where like there's something that only he can say, or like some perspective that only he can take. For instance, he's a really haughty, like stuck-up noble type person, and I ran into one girl who was a slave who was escaping, and like all of my other characters were talking to her about like, oh no, don't worry, like we'll keep you safe, blah blah blah, and all this stuff. And then if the Red Prince talked to her, one of his options that only the Red Prince can say is, oh, you're a slave, well, you belong to me, come along now. Like,
Whoa, uncomfortable.
Like, he could just get
suddenly
like,
uncomfortable.
well, he tries to make everybody his slave, basically. When you first meet him, he's like, you'll be my servant now. Like, he's like checking your mouth and shit like that. Like, oh, you have good teeth. Yes, you'll be my servant. I'm sorry, I touched your mouth.
Okay. Happens all the time.
But-
I have a question based on your footage.
Yeah.
You're fighting a lot of doors.
I'm fighting so many doors. in
So
this
many
footage.
doors.
Yeah, because I snuck into a so like I said, this character helped me get into these dungeons, right? He's like, oh, well, go to this statue and look for the secret switch, and you'll be able to find a back way into the dungeons. And I was like, fuck yeah! I go down there, I find the secret switch, I find the secret passageway, and I'm like, fuck yeah, yes, I'm sneaking in. And then I get to the first door, and it's locked, and I'm like, oh, I need a key, or I could pick the lock. But I don't have a lockpick. You know why I don't have a lockpick? Because I did have a lockpick, and I tried to use it to open a chest, and you know what happened?
It broke.
No. The game was like, you need a lockpick to pick this lock. So I selected lockpick, used it on the chest. It started filling up the lockpicking bar, and when it got to the end, it said, you don't have any points in thievery. You can't pick locks.
What?
And it took my lockpick.
Oh, the game's like, nope.
Yeah, like basically, I
kinda
guess from a metatextual standpoint, the idea was that like my character doesn't know shit about picking locks, but took lockpicks and was just like, and like fucked with it so much that he broke the lockpicks.
I mean, yeah.
Makes
sense.
it doesn't make sense because I feel like I know I can't pick a lock, and if I was trying to and it wasn't working, I wouldn't try so hard that I'd break the lockpick. Like I would get to a point before that happened that I'd be like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing.
It should have informed you of that.
Yeah, it was just like, fuck you, you know? So I didn't have a lockpick to get in here, but then I was like, oh wait, Divinity. I'll just fucking break the door. And I started attacking the door thinking, oh, well, surely some guards are going to come running as soon as I do this.
Nope.
Nope, that didn't happen.
So we got the entirety of this footage where it's just attacking door after
Just
door after
attacking
door.
doors. Just attacking doors. But I'm learning interesting things by doing that.
This game looks cool, Crispy.
It is cool.
I want to play it, but when will I find the time?
It's a huge commitment. It seems like
It looks like quite a step up too, like visually. I
I
think it's a
bit
pretty
the bullet and bought the game, so I've got it. I'll be playing more of it tomorrow night when I broadcast. But yeah, it's
Just try
really
playing
dope.
some co-op with Brad,
That's what I was
seeing
gonna
as
say.
how you both have copies of
I'd
the
like to
game.
hear your thoughts on co-op.
I mean, I would like to too, but I think Brad's pretty like firmly anti-co-op.
He's anti-multiplayer.
You never know until you ask.
We'll see. We'll see.
I wonder if there's like matchmaking.
Matchmaking?
I don't know.
No,
I haven't-
it is drop
I haven't
in,
really
drop
looked into
out.
it.
Oh, it is drop in, drop out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah.
Carlos. Before we do Dishonored, because I think we're gonna be coming up here on a break here shortly. I want to talk to Carlos because I keep forgetting he's here because I'm looking at the screen instead of him in real life. Hello, Carlos.
Hey, what's up?
Your mic's kind of far away.
Hey, what's up?
So I first of all I want to apologize to you, Carlos, for fucking up your overlay. But you played a game.
Yeah, actually, me and Crispy played a bit of a game this evening. What are you doing?
I don't
Just
know.
go. Just
He's
go.
taking a picture
Okay.
with my phone. Okay, sorry.
All right.
I just want to make sure there was a record of that.
Oh. Brad comes into the chat. I'll give Crispy $60 if he finishes this game. Oh man, that's. Then you have to do it now, Crispy.
There you go. The challenge has been set.
All right, so me and Crispy played a bit of a game this afternoon. I
did.
was wanting him to play it, and I've been wanting to play with someone because
I'm sorry. Don't look at the overlay.
Tooth
I fucked
and
it up.
nail.
Tooth and nail.
I-
What the fuck is that?
I know.
What the
I don't know no goddamn game
Did we
named
play?
Tooth and Nail.
Did we play Tooth and Nail?
I ain't playing no shit called Tooth and
Let's get
Nail.
the fuck out of here,
What
dog.
the fuck, dog? Fuck this. Let's go.
Leave me alone. I fucked it up. My bad.
We can still
Okay.
see your
Damn
ankle.
right.
Oh my god, where does this?
There you go.
Come back, Carlos. This is an audio podcast. Please talk.
All right, so me and Crispy played a little bit of Tooth and Tail, which is a new RTS made by the team who brought us Monaco a little while back. And,
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah, and the whole a lot of the selling point of this game is that it's an RTS that is made up of quick battles, and it has a split screen mode, so you can very easily pick up a controller and play with your friends. So, Crispy, seeing as how you just played this for the first time today, kind of while I organize my thoughts, tell me, what were your first impressions of this?
Dude, this game sucks so fucking bad.
Thank you.
Wait, are you being serious?
No,
I can't.
no, I'm not.
Oh,
No,
okay.
this game's actually kind of neat. It's like
looks like it has
it's
a
a very, very distilled form of the classic RTS. RTS. Not RTS.
Yeah, I'm kind of waiting until we get
RTS.
some footage of the game.
Because the whole thing, I mean, you do kind of build a quote unquote base. It's all built around capturing these like grain mills, and then when you have a grain mill, you can build farms around it, which produce a constant supply of meat for your construction.
Yeah.
And then depending on what type of units you're going to use, which there are like, I think there's like 20 different units in the game, but before battle you pick 6 of them that you're going to use. And then
And whenever you do a multiplayer match, I guess in our case that didn't apply because we were playing side by side.
Yeah,
but if you play online, the units that you choose are hidden from your opponent.
right.
So it's
okay.
going to be a little bit of a
So there's a
surprise
little-
up until you actually run into them on the battlefield.
There's a strategy in preparation and selecting units, and you can see right there some of the buildings. So like those little holes in the ground are warrens that create the little squirrel soldiers, which are like your basic foot soldier units, and then you can also build these gun nests, which are just stationary defense
Yeah.
buildings. But
and then there's those weasels that are like artillery. Like they can't fire on airborne units.
they can
But
fire.
they're
on
pretty good
ground
at destroying buildings.
if they can see something.
Okay, back up. What is this game?
It's called Tooth and Tail.
Tooth and nail.
And you're like rat
the
people?
story of this, it's not just rat people. There's
Is
4
this like
different.
the secret?
No.
Top
Hang on.
secret
Hang on.
sequel
Hang on.
to
Hang on.
Secret
Hang
of
on.
Nim or something?
Hang on. Hang on.
Fuck that movie.
This this game is all about different factions of like little vermin and rodent people. Okay, so you've got rats, you've got squirrels, you've got fucking weasels, you've got possums, you've got lizards, iguanas, pigeons, birds. You've got all these little like kind of smaller mammalian, some lizards, some avian animals, right? And they're split into these 4 factions, and the story has kind of a French Revolution vibe to it. But the main source of the conflict is that each of these groups are tired of living like
Animals?
like animals. They're tired of living like animals. They want to live the high life. They want to live the good life, and their main marker for that is a constant supply of meat, of being able to eat meat. So these groups are all having a war with one another to see who is going to be the meat supply, to see which of them is going to be eaten.
Interesting.
Yes. So like the blue people are kind of I don't know. What would you say? They're kind of more.
I don't think we got
intellectual,
far
like the
enough into the
Marxists or
story
something.
to really see where people's
Right, their politics.
factions,
land.
alignments,
they're all-
and stuff.
I like that they're all dressed like people.
So the whole meat thing. Meat is also your main resource in the game. You need meat to build units.
Meat is money?
Meat is money. Yes. So when you capture these grain mills I was talking about and you build farms around it, those farms are all run by pigs, and the pigs farm meat. The meat goes into your resource pool that you use to build units. But when I was saying that this game is a very distilled form of RTS, though, I mean, like, it is crazy distilled. Most of this is automated. So when you build, like, let's say you build a warren for those squirrel troopers, right? It's going to automatically start building units.
Yeah.
And it's going to build to its cap, which I think is 3. So, like, it builds 3 units, then it stops. And then if one of those 3 units that it built dies, it automatically starts building a new one to replace it, okay?
Yeah.
And when anything you're building comes from that same pool, and it's all happening automatically. And once you start it into motion, it just keeps going. You can't stop it. Is kind of a big part of the strategy here too. It is like very.
You can't even tell. Like you can't physically stop it.
Compare this to like a more traditional RTS in which you might be having a skirmish with your opponent in the front of the battlefield. And as your troops start to die off, you have to go back to your base, select your building, queue up your units. All of this is taken care of for you automatically, provided you have the resources to maintain.
So once you
your
make
soldiers.
the decision,
then-
it's already
right.
it just
Yeah.
continues.
But then that also means that there's a little bit more strategy in timing in how you spend your resources, because once you set things in motion, like, it's going, and it can very easily fuck you over. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you start building a farm over here, that farm is going to take priority. It's going to stop all other construction until it has the resources to build that farm. But if you start getting attacked while that farm is in construction, and you need to like start throwing down other buildings to build units to defend your base, you can't do it.
Because it hasn't finished.
Because
building
it
the farm
hasn't
yet.
finished building the farm.
You can go and cancel the farm and get those resources back, but that's just time
That sounds
you're
like it'd
losing.
be really easy
So
to
is-
fuck yourself over.
So
It
is there like a set strategy for each match? Like first you set up your defense, then you set up your economy, then
Well, these games, as we found, typically only last like maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Okay.
like
They're not
typically
very
you think of like a real time strategy game. You go into like your StarCraft 2. You know, your match is like 30 minutes. You go into something
you're
else like
lucky.
Age of Empires.
Warcraft 3,
You
2
could be playing
hours.
that. You could play that shit for hours. You know, like
Yeah.
you give your opponent enough of a chance to like wall themselves up. You're gonna be there for a while. But in this game, the maps are small enough, and the gameplay is so simplified that we played a couple of matches and they were both each like what 5 minutes.
Yeah. It seems to me, again, I've only played the matches I played
Is
with
this the
Carlos
Mario
today.
and Rabbids of Warcraft?
I mean, that's not a completely unfair descriptor.
Yeah,
I mean, it's pretty streamlined, but still has a good depth of strategy to it. Like, it's still
That sounds like
satisfying.
Mario. That sounds like Mario plus Rabbids.
Yeah, it's still satisfying. It's still really fun to play. But
it's
it's just
not the lighthearted affair though.
right. It's just a lot. Well,
You did bring up Secret of Nim when talking about this movie or game.
This is
I mentioned
definitely. I mean,
know.
this is definitely a bit more
dark.
macabre than Mario versus Rabbids.
Yeah.
But there is still kind of a. I don't know if I'd say goofy, but like.
feel like we've had this conversation.
It looks like he's walking.
Yeah, kind of almost silly. I mean, look, it's fucking squirrels, and that squirrel's got a whiskey bottle.
But that squirrel just fucking
You know what I'm saying?
exploded
Yeah, you
into
know, like
into a ball of mist.
it's
of
gross
red
and
mist.
it's macabre, but it's kind of goofy too. You know, it's still silly. This is like a great sequel to Ratatouille.
All right, sold.
How's
Sold.
So there's 4 factions in the game.
Yeah, they're all identical. The faction just basically determines your color and your theme music.
Okay, so it's
Right.
not,
They
there's
all
no,
get
like,
the same.
Yeah, everyone
unique
gets to
features
pick.
or anything.
Everyone gets to pick from the same pool of units.
Yes.
Everyone gets to pick 6 units. Something else that I wanted to talk
So
about
all
is
so all the factions are equal, but some factions are more equal than others.
yes,
Dude.
just like Animal Farm.
Okay.
But let me tell you something else. Like in this game, there's no cursor. Like you see that little dude with the banner moving around.
Yeah.
That's your cursor. You control him. You can.
Oh.
you
Yeah,
can
that's
use
the only thing you control.
That's the only thing you control.
So like you're moving the mouse around, and that's
No, you're not moving the mouse. You're using the keys.
Oh.
This game is like designed to be played with a gamepad.
Gotcha.
Honestly. So you're just moving that dude around, and what that dude basically does is he sets down the buildings for construction, from which the units will pop out, and then you can use him to rally troops to you. So you can move your guy to the front of the line where you want your enemies to go. He'll start waving his flag, and all the troops will rally to him. And if you only want specific troops to come to you, you can select a certain group of units,
Yeah.
and only those will come to you.
Carlos, you said that this was tooth and tail, as in like a story kind of tale.
Yeah, I was hoping you would fix it with another mistake.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was gonna say.
kind of bit me in the
Oh.
ass there.
oh, you were trying to fuck me over,
Again, yeah.
and then I just said no, I'm not gonna fix your overlay. So I screwed you over.
Yeah.
What a bitch.
What's with the SS mice?
These characters really do remind me of Secret of Nim, and that
Well, it's just the anthropomorphic
So this is
animals,
what
I guess.
This is what I was talking about earlier, where you have this pool of like, what is that, 20 different characters, and you
Yeah.
can pick 6 of them.
And they're divided in tiers. Like the ones at the top are cheaper. As you move towards the bottom, they're more expensive, and then the bottom row
yeah.
is your
It's
defensive structures.
yeah.
Yeah. So like a traditional RTS game, you could
that
spend
iguana?
all your money on
Yep.
cheap units,
Oh, the
rush the opponent,
the
or save them up
iguanas-
for an expensive one.
The iguanas are melee units, and their big thing is that they can turn invisible.
Chameleons. They're
Cool.
chameleons.
Or chameleons, yeah.
I knew that. I know my lizards,
Yeah, for
or
sure.
not. Totally.
Yeah, like dinosaurs.
It look. God, I just walked right into that one. Like literally, just opened the door and just let you right in.
So
All
is,
right.
is this pure multiplayer? Is this single
No,
player?
no, there's a single player too.
It has a campaign, but like obviously RTS games are meant to be played
Right.
competitively because a computer's never going to be able to pull off the strategies that are interesting to play
Yeah.
against. Like you can very easily trick them.
Hey man, I played Warcraft 3 single player and I still couldn't win.
I play
Yeah.
my RTS as single player unless there's like a skirmish mode. I'll
Yeah.
do that too, but
You're probably also not the best RTS player then.
no, that's a goddamn certainty. Yes.
All right, and another
we
thing I
go.
want to say is that the problem with RTSs nowadays is that they're not a very popular genre. So if you want to play this online, you're obviously not going to have a big amount of players to compete against. But this game has crossplay between GOG, Steam, and PS4, so that should help alleviate that a little bit.
If it finds its audience, on
Yeah.
any one of those
Hopefully
platforms,
it
they're
will
good.
because it seems really cool. And I kind of waited on getting it and started playing it, so I'm really fresh on it. But I really want to play it and I really want to get good at it, especially because it's so simple and matches
Dude,
take so
simple can be good.
yeah, and matches are
nothing
over in
wrong
so
with that.
short
That
amount
is
of time
so much. That is
that it's pretty easy to learn.
That is exactly why I'm enjoying the hell out of Mario plus Rabbids. Is because like I'm getting kind of that same feeling that I get when playing XCOM without the stress.
Yeah,
Simple can be good.
you don't have to 3 hours just flush down the drain because you clicked the wrong tile or something.
Exactly.
Yep.
Cool. That was Tooth and Tail, right? Not nail. Like
TALE TI. I can't spell dog.
I know.
all right, we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, Chris and I both played the new. I don't want to call it DLC, the Dishonored expansion, Dishonored 2 expansion, Death of the Outsider. Mm-hmm. So we'll talk about that when we get back. And of course, we got some news to talk about. There's TGS stuff coming out this week. And we'll answer some questions from our supporters on Patreon. So if you're watching us live, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
remember to lower the crop value.
Crop value.
So they usually cut it off at a certain level, and now I'm worried about his face being
Cut in half?
cut in half in the template.
Who cares? All right, ready?
I care!
I don't.
It's extra work for me!
It's Carlos. Don't ever do extra work for Carlos. He's gonna find some
He
way.
would never do it for you.
He's gonna. He's gonna find some way to ruin everything. Are you ready? I'm gonna take your silence as a yes and
As a
say
tacit
welcome
approval.
as a tacit approval and say welcome back to the podcast, everybody. I want to talk a little bit about a certain game that I played a lot of last year.
Well, I bet this is gonna suck.
It does suck, in fact.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I'm just trying to get a rise out of Chris Davis. I've been playing Dishonored.
We've been playing Dishonored.
I've been playing
yeah,
Dishonored.
together
Death of the Outsider.
for couples night. A date night when you guys stay in. Play
No
video
honor
games.
when those two get at it. You know what I'm saying?
Right, this.
First of all, I think it's a tragic shame that not many other people played Dishonored 2 last year on this
I
site.
did.
It's sad.
I played it.
I did. It just didn't find a way into my top 10 list.
I played it.
Wait, you played it? You played it?
I played it.
Bullshit.
I played it.
And right after I
I got up
finished
to
it,
the Clockwork Mansion. I got halfway through the mansion and I was like, "Fuck this game."
right after I finished it, I played through 1 and the DLCs again.
You guys are killing me. Anyways, Dishonored, Death of the Outsider, not DLC, more like what I would liken it to
2.5.
Uncharted Lost Legacy, that is to Uncharted 4, right? It's like
That's
it's
probably
a
fair, yeah.
standalone
I'll take your word for it.
standalone story content, all new character, or not all new characters, but you're playing as a new character, or
not.
you're playing as a character you've never played as before. Shut
Okay.
up. You're killing me. New locations, new missions, new objectives, all that stuff. Totally separate from the story that took place in Dishonored 2. I'm only 2 missions in, but I've spent like 5 hours in this game because that's how Dishonored works for me.
Dishonored does that to you, man.
That's how
You just
Dishonored
keep
works.
finding things and exploring and...
Yes, all those things that I love about Dishonored still very heavy, very prevalent here. I love it. I do want to start out with my only minor gripe,
Uh-huh.
Chris Davis, and this gripe could very well prove to be invalid at some point. Given that I've only played 2 missions, but I feel like the levels in this game, like in Dishonored 2, there were so many levels that were so intricately designed, and so many, like, it was like you have to get inside this building, right? And you can get into that building in so many different ways.
Yeah.
You can sneak through a window, you can go underground, you can come in from the
Yeah.
roof. I've come across, in both missions, I feel like, there's a building I'm trying to infiltrate, and I feel like I've only been able to find literally one way into those buildings. And I don't know why, because there's nothing up front that I can tell you I think is different about the way this game is designed. It seems like they've put just as much care and effort into designing this world and these levels, but
Well, so the first mission, it's designed to be that kind of linear.
it is smaller.
It's because it's like, welcome back to Dishonored, here's how you play the game again.
Yes, and then the second mission opens up pretty dramatically, and it's
Very
like
much.
you can go in any given direction. There's multiple buildings. There's multiple people you need to interact with and talk to and get stuff from, information from, in different locations around this huge map. And then I come right now, literally right now, I'm trying to get into the what's the gang called? The
Eyeless.
The Eyeless. The Eyeless have this like big
They have a
building.
pub.
They have a pub in the middle of town, and it's like, get into the pub, right? Mm-hmm. I go up to the door. I knock on the door. Guy answers the door. Like, he's like, "Are you a member? This is members only exclusive, right?" So I'm like, "Oh, this is perfect. This game gives you a new set of powers, right? And one of those powers is to steal people's faces and like walk around as them."
Yes.
I was like, I just got to find the right person to like take over, right?
So you have to find a member of the Eyeless, yes.
Did you find a member of the Eyeless?
There are several around town.
Because here's the other problem.
I didn't take that route.
I don't think you can.
Yes, you can.
Because the power runs at... So one of the big differences in this game versus Dishonored proper is that you don't have to constantly refill your not magic. What is that called? Magic? The magic meter?
basically, yeah.
The mass. Yeah. What? You don't have to. It's not like they don't have consumables for those. It just you run out and it slowly recharges.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
the whole thing.
It automatically recharges.
Every
yeah.
time.
What
So
the fuck was that 2 games ago?
I know. It's beautiful because it does
There's even a narrative reason for it, too.
Fuck you.
Wait, who are you talking to? Me or Chris?
I'm sorry. What is
Well, the narrative reason is that the elixir that they use,
Yeah.
Sokolov's elixir or something like that, yeah. It's been recalled by the manufacturer. Evidently, it's been tainted.
So suddenly
but then
she remembers
why-
that she can regenerate. I
Well,
don't.
her powers are kind of tied into the void, but it's not given by the outsider. The outsider doesn't give her mark.
I
his
was
mark.
oh yeah, it doesn't doubt.
So, what?
You killed a dog, you bastard.
Yeah,
I'm just
this
kidding. I
footage-
kill dogs in this game all
I'm
the
usually a
time.
lot better. This footage is kind of crap right now.
Killed a pupper?
Here, well, real quick, just back to
Monster.
why I think I was having trouble doing the thing where you take over the eyelets, right?
Yeah.
It depletes,
Yeah.
and then it refills.
Yeah.
The farther away you get, but it depletes fairly quickly, especially if you're moving. I've noticed that the more you move, the faster down it goes.
No,
right?
it says that in the instructions.
So, the assumption would be that if you have to take over an eyeless to get inside the pub, he would be close by. Can't find anyone close by. I found
Incorrect.
several around town.
If you were to go into the bank, you would see an eyeless that harasses a
fuck
teller
is
there. The bank is in the northern part of the map.
Yeah,
It's the objective for the third mission.
yeah, but there's
where
no
we
way
are
you
right
can
now.
get from the bank back to the pub without running out of juice.
I didn't finish.
Nick, all I'm hearing
There's
here-
a contract in the game where you have to follow the eyeless back to a contact and then kill the eyeless and the
So
contact.
it's because I'm doing it out
and
of
they
order.
walk all the way straight to the pub.
Okay, so I'm doing it out of
As
order.
usual, you're playing the game wrong.
I'm not. I don't.
I will
please
fight
tell
you
me.
to the death, Crispy.
And please don't take that as me saying exactly that. I'm not saying that.
No.
But there's other options.
But there are sure.
Another option is you can go to the tattoo parlor and get the eyeless tattoo, and then
I did that.
they think you're well. You may have gotten the wrong tattoo because there's like 4 of them. You had
Oh, fuck, I picked
You
the
have to
wrong
match the one that Dowd chooses for you.
Okay, all right. Like I said, you're probably gonna prove this gripe invalid. Not to
And-
mention, I've
and-
only seen 2 missions so far, and this was
Also-
just the first thing I've noticed about the game so
Would
far.
you like to know the third way to get in?
Well, I've already gotten in. I'm pretty sure I went the third way. I went through the next door building next door. When I
Oh
crossed
yeah,
the
yeah,
bridge.
the opera singer's place. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, so I did that because that's the only viable option I could find. I just feel like it was a lot easier to find viable options. I feel like maybe they're just more they're hidden better here. Can I help you, Crispy?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's just,
She's obsessed
I
with.
love this.
With
It's Carlos's face on screen. It's such a
just
delight.
hovering in the middle of our
He's
footage.
just smiling. It's just brightening up my day. You know. It's like I wish more games had just Carlos.
Carlos's
smiling at
face just
But
hovering.
no, the third mission is where it really fucking opens up because it's you're going on a bank heist. You
I
have
like-
to break into the bank to find a certain item in order to progress in the game.
Okay,
And
That sounds
it's-
cool.
But it's got elements of the Clockwork Mansion in it.
okay, so this is so Crispy's not gonna play it.
I'll play it.
Did you finish Dishonored 2?
Yeah.
Good, but
No, the Clockwork Mansion was cool.
the Clockwork Mansion was like
I
the most
don't know why
mind.
I just stopped playing this game because of time. I think.
It was alright. It's kind of interesting how Titanfall 2 also had a very similar mechanic, and it released the same year as Dishonored 2.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when Meteor movies come out close to
Well,
each other.
you're not referring to you're referring to the mission at the end of just the second really notable mission in Dishonored 2, which is where you have the piece that lets you jump back and forth in time.
Class.
Yeah.
Whoa! Spoilers.
Oh shit! I'm sorry, you didn't know that.
Oh my God.
Time
Nick.
travel.
Now I'm definitely not gonna
Which
play it.
Oh, but I thought that would make you want to play it.
Fuck you. That was going to be a quick mention for me, actually.
Time travel.
No, Dishonored 2. I did a Corvo. I've been working on a Corvo playthrough. for the
Somehow
past
he
year.
found the time to play through Dishonored 2 in its entirety again as Corvo.
Well, I've been working on it since like last year, off and on.
Okay.
And I finally got around to doing it because I wanted to play through. This.
I'm assuming you did that before this.
Yeah, I did that.
I don't know anybody that
And
played through Dishonored 2 as Corvo.
I had stopped at that level, and I made a different. I made a decision I wasn't aware that I could do, and it completely changed the rest of the nature of not only that level, but of several characters later on in the game.
Well, that's cool.
And that blew my fucking
That's
mind.
why
Wait,
Dishonored kind of does that though.
It does. It
Like,
is
the first
so
one
good
did
about
it
that.
in similar ways.
Yeah, and right here, there was a button in the middle of this lobby here that you had to activate to deactivate all the security gates and doors, and I did what you could do in Prey, which is load up your crossbow and shoot it at the button, and it activated and knocked out all the doors.
Was that? Could you do that in Dishonored 2 proper, or was it?
I don't think so.
There's
No,
ever
You to
an
do that.
opportunity to do that.
but yeah, they took that like little
They saw
mini
that and they were
mechanic
like,
and okay, we're putting that in here.
Shit. Yeah, because that's fucking
You get to
genius.
play as Doubt.
No, you play as Billy.
Billy Lurk.
Billy Lurk.
I do want to point out, just because for the most part, Dishonored: Death of the Outsider is very Dishonored 2. There's not a whole lot of new light I can shine on Dishonored that's going to suddenly change your mind about Dishonored.
Wait, so are you trying to kill the outsider?
Yes.
Why?
You're in the game. You're teaming back up with Dowd, who you betrayed in the first game.
Sure.
Well,
and-
not the first game. The DLC for
Right.
the first game.
What was the DLC?
The Brigmore
The
Witches.
Brigmore
Yeah,
Witches and the Knife of Dunwall.
I did play both of those, and they were
both
great.
really good.
They're both
Yeah.
really good. But you're teaming back up with him, and he's decided at the beginning of this, Dowd has been kidnapped, and he's decided that he's fucking done with this, and he's going to kill the outsider.
But isn't the outsider?
What gives him his powers?
The Outsider is basically
Yes.
a god. Yes.
Yes.
How do you kill that?
That's
Well, that's part of the story.
Chris Davis has the answer to that in his head, but I don't want to know.
I can tell. I don't want to tell you.
Good. But
Sounds
it's a cool set. I think it's a cool setup. The thing is, they mix it up a bit by obviously the thing where allowing your magic to regenerate, which I think is a total game changer because I no longer feel restricted. Like you can literally, as long as you can wait for your magic to refill, you can explore it in any way you want, which I think is
like clairvoyance right here. Is that what's going on?
okay. So they've given you 3 new primary powers. One is called Displace, which is their version of Blink, and just like in that first one was Blink, second one was
The tentacle thing.
yeah, but what had a
I
name?
don't know
What
what
was
it's called.
Tendrils.
I don't remember.
their version in this basically allows you to pick a place and you set a marker, and then when you hit it again, you instantly teleport
But
there.
it can be any time as long as you're within range and there's nothing blocking you from it. You can just set it and forget it.
Yeah.
Unless it's a person,
No.
and then you can jump into the person.
If you displace into a person, they explode into a gory
Yes.
mist.
Telefrag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is cool. The other one I forgot what it's called, but it's like I said, you can steal their face. Like he walks up and you're like,
Man,
it's so dude.
That's some fucking bullshit. I'm gonna say
Why?
that's some fucking
Are you
bullshit.
about to bring Game of Thrones in
bullshit.
here, dude? It's so cool.
That's some a fucking course it is.
It's
People
cool
can't
though. Like
stop fucking-
not to mention just because they did something like that in a Game of Thrones doesn't mean that doesn't absolutely fit in this
Man,
game.
That's some fucking.
Hey, shut up.
And dude, it's fucking cool because
Man, that's weak as hell.
oh my god, I can't even talk
Another-
about Dishonored without you bringing up Game of Thrones. Damn it.
No, that actually does sound really cool.
It's like-
for this context, it does.
The way it's different is cool because he comes up behind him and he holds his hand, or she holds her hand in front of their faces, and then you just see all the life essences flow out of their face and into your hand, and their face turns black and they die, and then you're just
No, they don't die.
They don't? Well, they're
No.
unconscious at least.
Yeah.
But then you're literally walking around holding their face in your hand, and as long as you're holding their face, people think you're them.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
As
And
long
I
as
found some
as
pretty
long as you
cool.
still have your mana.
Yeah, and like I said, that kind of drains fairly quickly. And the last one is that thing that used to look like clairvoyance, which basically allows you to leave your body, time freezes, and you can float into the air and examine the entire environment. And you can mark things. You can mark people and bone charms and
Objects in the environment.
Objects in the
But you
environment.
can also mark where you want to place a displace marker.
That's right. You can place a displace marker while you're floating through the air in that clairvoyant state. You can place a displace marker and then displace from that state, can't you? Or as soon as you come
Well,
out of the state.
as long as you're in range of it, there's nothing blocking you, and you have the mana.
Yeah, dude. It's
but you have to have line of sight.
yeah.
As long as your character can have line of sight, like if they turn around,
Right.
but you don't have to be looking at it.
Right.
Yeah, I
You
think-
just can't be behind a locked door.
yes.
Correct.
Correct. So all that stuff's really cool. I don't know how much deeper it gets.
The powers they really don't. You don't get the ability to upgrade your powers at all.
Because they give you those 3 right off the bat at the very beginning, and then it's kind of like.
Now, when you beat the game and you start a new game plus, it
I
actually
will
replaces those powers with Corvo's original powers. So instead of displays, you get blink, you get bend time, and I think you get the rat plague.
That's cool, but it's not necessarily. That's not nearly as appealing as say getting a new power.
Is there an equivalent to the heart?
No.
Yes, there is actually.
What? I thought you only had those 3 base powers in this.
No. Well, it's the item.
Oh,
so
okay.
like the heart of Jessamine Caldwin, Billy also has a similar thing that allows her to speak to rats.
Oh, that's what I wanted to mention.
Using
Thank
that, speaking to rats, you can gain clues about ways you can progress in the game.
If you can catch the little bastards,
are.
you can talk to them.
Yeah.
And
no, they'll be like groups of 4, and you can just find them. And
I know, but they run
them.
around so fast, and sometimes you gotta
It's
stop
like
moving.
the first time in this series in which you're not worried about rats. Because a swarm of rats would fuck you up in the first 2 games.
That's true, but it's cool. Like, it's actually really creepy because when they talk, they're like, "Yes, yeah," and they're like, they have this like really weird like.
It's like a almost childish voice, just
Yeah.
talking about eating people and sinew
It's fucked up, and it totally fits in the world of Dishonored. So I don't know. There's not much more I can say about it. I think it's really cool. I'm totally gonna finish it.
I think the really cool things about this game is just how much it takes from like the background lore of the Dishonored series and actually starts bringing things to the forefront.
That's cool.
Like,
do they talk? Is there anything? I don't know why I latch onto this, but like, I love the whole whaling thing. I feel like they haven't done much. Like,
they don't really do
Did you guys hear
that much with whales per
What?
se.
Nick
What?
just said he likes killing whales.
That's terrible.
He wants
no,
all
virtual
the
whales.
to die.
virtual
If you
whales.
pay attention to the
Hates
art,
whales.
if you pay attention to
Confirmed.
the art that's in the world of Dishonored 1 and 2,
Yeah.
and you just look at it, you're like, holy shit, anything that's not a dog is designed to fucking murder you. There's like giant apes and orangutans and murderous whales.
I
and
don't
things
know
like
what
that.
game you're playing, but in my game, the dogs do fucking murder you.
Oh yeah, but some of them are actually
Everything
friends of
murders you.
guards, whereas everything else is designed to murder everybody. Another cool thing, and it's kind of exclusive to the 3rd mission, is there's some Clockwork Soldiers in there.
Fuck those things.
But these are different. These are Sentinels. And these are the ones that were featured in the original cinematic trailer that had like the clay faces and the 4 blades.
Yeah.
It's that version. It's not what was in the rest of Dishonored 2.
So what's
they
different about
function a
them?
little different. They're more combat oriented.
Oh, great.
But they only have one eye, so they can't see behind them.
Can you displace into them?
I haven't tried that.
You should try that.
Because my first playthrough, it's always going to be entirely passive.
I feel like
what I do.
one thing they added too is not one thing, but like they've added contracts so at each one of the missions. So like there's a whole bunch of like side mission objectives you can do within each larger mission.
That's how you mainly get a lot of your money in the
Yeah,
game.
one of them is in the second mission is to kill a mime.
Why?
I forgot why.
Somebody just has a contract and hates the mime, so they put out the contract to kill
And
the
I
mime.
totally displaced into that mime while he was doing a performance. And he exploded into gory bits while there was 2 people looking at me, and they ran off screaming. But the thing is, the objective was to do it quietly. I failed. But man, was it satisfying!
There's a very lucrative contract for the 3rd mission in which you have to find a book somewhere in the bank that's in a safe.
Yeah.
And you have to copy down like the contents of a certain page.
Yeah.
But you have to do it without ever being spotted or any alerts going on.
I probably won't be doing that one.
It's hard, but it's entertaining. But there
That's
are
what she
tools
said.
that make that easier in the game, and that's so cool.
Yeah, no.
Another thing they added, which I think is fucking cool. So the Abbey of the Everyman, which are like the
church.
They're the church. They're the anti outsider.
Anti-magic.
Anti-magic. Yeah, they hunt witches and they try to
As one does.
dispel anything in the void.
They lock up women who are too smart.
Actually,
Dude, that's definitely a thing in the game.
yeah, no,
Like,
it
Oh,
is.
really? Okay.
There's like a part where you go into the Abbey of the Everyman and like this dude's giving a tour and he's just talking about like, does your wife read books all the time? Maybe she's flirting with the outsider. Like
That's fucked
it's
up.
No, it's dead serious. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they've added a faction of them that they haven't mentioned before called the Sisters of the Oracular Order. And the idea is that these are priestesses whose role in the Abbey of the Everyman is to prophesize the future.
What?
And
That sounds like magic.
It sounds like they'd be doing that with the help of the outsider. Maybe.
They have the ability to
What
look into the
heresy
void,
is
but they
this?
don't use the void's power. So they can see elements of the future and get visions of what's going on.
So they found a loophole.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oracular.
And you're right. And somebody in chat says, I think I've heard of that. The Sisters of the Oracular Order, I think, were mentioned in one of the other ones. But
Yeah,
but I don't think maybe you ever saw them.
Yeah, the part of the idea in Dishonored 1 was that the Brigmore witches were trying to infiltrate and control the Sisters of the Oracular Order and alter the flow of events that are happening. But that's fucking cool. This game is so good.
Long
man.
story short, Dishonored,
cool.
Death of the Outsider
How much is it?
more fantastic. It's $30.
It
How
is
long did it
$30.
take you?
With me messing around and just exploring like everything, my first playthrough was about 10 hours.
And this is standalone.
I've also seen that
yeah.
sounds ridiculous. For how many missions are there?
There's 5 total.
Oh, I thought there were 8. Some people were saying it took them like 20 hours to do this game.
Dude, there is so much to explore and find in this fucking game. It's so good. This mission alone to get into the bank, there's like 5 different ways.
Yeah. Well, shouldn't surprise anybody. Dishonored, Death of the Outsider continues to be awesome. I don't understand why Dishonored 2 didn't get more attention. Like, I feel like it was tragically underlooked or underappreciated last year. Not necessarily by us, but like, just I didn't see it come up
It
very
was a
often.
great game. I just think it was
Did it
game that was an iteration on something we'd already played, kind of surrounded by other bigger, newer things.
It came out at kind of a bad time.
Yeah.
And it was really just more Dishonored. It
was
wasn't
underperformed too, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, but I don't know.
Anyways, that's
they-
neither here nor there. We need to move
Yeah.
on.
I want to go back and finish
This
two.
is the final thing I want to mention about this game is that this is supposed to be like the epilogue to Dishonored 2.
Yeah.
But it's also supposed to serve as the ending of the Caldwell saga.
Yeah, I mean,
So
the implication is that whatever, if we get more Dishonored, it's not going to have anything to do with the Caldwell's.
Yeah.
Or this,
Or
maybe even this,
Corvo.
maybe
or this might be the end of the series. Period.
I mean, yeah. I mean, well, after it underperformed, there's a good chance at the very least, it may be
God,
in
I hope
hiatus
not.
for a while.
They have put up so much lore and so much potential. Like,
But I mean, it got-
I desperately want a Dishonored game. Doesn't even have to be called Dishonored, but I just want to go explore the Pandician continent, where there's been like
That's some
2.5
nerd shit.
games worth of lore that makes this place sound incredible.
Well, to be honest, I don't think we've seen the last of Dishonored, but
We better
they
not
might be
have.
putting it on the shelf for a year or two, which is fine. Maybe they need that to kind of reinvigorate interest in it.
Well,
Anyways,
they just got done with Prey. So
tell me
they gotta
about
calm down.
HPV, SPV. I'm
Hang on, let me.
See what I did there? See what I did?
Okay, so
You scamp.
Oh, it's been so long since someone called me scamp. Thanks.
is that it right there?
Yes, that is it.
Okay.
I had no idea what this was, so I had to put it in parentheses.
SPV3.
See?
Single player version 3 is basically what AM2R is to Metroid,
But
It-
to Halo.
but for Halo. It is a single player mod developed based on the original Halo CE.
Someone says without the great music, did they take the music out?
No, they've enhanced the music and made it really fucking cool.
Well, Gamerbeck says terrible music, but whatever.
Well,
Gamerbeck's
Gamerbeck is not
wrong.
only wrong, he should apologize. So the idea is that they take the original Halo, they take the existing maps and the existing gameplay mechanics, but they add in mechanics and design ideas from all the other Halos. And it's designed to be a sort of continuation and build off of what actually was Reach, because Reach is a prequel to Halo.
Yeah.
The silent cartographer.
So this is the one map in the game. This is the one level in the game in which it's their own version. It's called the Silent Cartographer Evolved. Now, all the other maps in the game are just like enhanced and slightly extended versions of those existing maps. This is a complete remake.
Oh my god!
This
it's
level's a
Halo
complete
Combat
remake.
Evolved, and he has a battle rifle.
It's a battle rifle. It's the Halo.
Oh my God.
It's the Halo 2 like pre-release version of the battle rifle, where it's the 3-shot and then you zoom it single shot, which I think is fucking amazing. They take ideas for like equipment from like Halo Reach and they take grenades and weapons and things from like all the other games, and they combine them into this one package, and it's really fucking well done. It's still Halo 1 combat. You're not going to be dual wielding. You're not going to be doing a whole lot of like anything more than just like elbowing guys with melee combat. There's no sword combat.
That was before that was way back in the day.
But they
had all
build
that
on
shit.
like existing things. Like they have, you saw at the beginning there were loadouts you could choose from. There are weapons from almost all the Halo games in here. Almost every single weapon that's ever been in a Halo game is featured somewhere.
So it's kind of like a greatest hits of Halo.
It's a greatest hits combined into
this
this one game.
in the skin of Halo 1.
Yes. For example, one of the equipment drops I have right now is ability to regen health, which that wasn't a thing in Halo 1.
When was that introduced? Halo 2?
Well, I mean, Halo 2 didn't even
there would've
have
been like 3 or.
Halo 2 didn't even have like health bars. It was just your shield bar and
Oh,
a couple hits
I don't
and you
think
die.
they started doing like different like gear, like the
gear
like
and
the
equipment.
equipment until Reach or something like that.
They didn't have like the passive abilities really until Reach, but they had like the basic equipment like the shield balls and the things like that in 3. But there are so many cool things in here, like remember the
nerfed
visor
the
mode from
pistol?
ODST? The visor mode, which you could see things in the dark. That's in here.
Hang on,
Back up.
That's
Hang on.
a Gauss hog.
hang on, hang on.
Yeah.
Did they nerf the pistol?
They kind of did nerf
What?
the pistol. Now they made it less powerful, but they changed it up to where you can fire it much faster.
SMH, man.
But they make up for it with the
SMH.
inclusion of things like the battle rifle, like the Covenant carbine. There's so many different things they've added into this fucking game that it balances out kind of like everything. The library is actually fucking tolerable now.
Or the Flood?
The Flood AI in this game, it's Halo 3 Flood AI. So they are designed to attack all factions and will actively convert them into Flood right in front of your eyes.
I like any Halo game.
While you wait.
I like any Halo game with no Flood.
In this game, you will fight all factions of the Covenant except the Engineers, which includes the Brutes.
Yeah.
You will have Brutes and Elites and Grunts. And you'll have like the running versions of Jackals from 2 and 3 in here.
brutes at Installation 4?
I mean, it's
When did you
again,
become such a Halo nerd?
Shut up! I've always been a Halo fan.
They even have cut like when Halo was an RTS or even a third-person shooter way back in the day. They put in cut like animal AI from that version of the game. So you've got little creatures that are running around that will attack the Covenant and you. Like there's
wolves and
so
shit?
much they have added to the experience that makes it so fucking cool. And the music is so good. The music, it builds
Is
on
it
those
different?
existing themes.
Is it different music, or is it just like remixed versions of like the original
It's slightly
soundtrack?
remixed versions with better orchestral and rock mixes. So it is that like original music, but it feels more fleshed out.
You know, just the one thing that's coming from this conversation for me is me realizing I don't have the original Halo soundtrack, and that's a crime.
I mean, it's a
Oh,
really
what
fun
about
good
Halo
soundtrack.
2 where they had that fucking Breaking Benjamin song that I know you were all about?
I do have that song.
I know you do.
Breaking Bad. Are they even still around?
Yes, yes, they are.
What was that song called? Blow Me Away or something?
Yeah, I think it was.
Something like that, yeah. That plays when you're playing as the Arbiter for the first time, flying around.
I didn't even know that, you son of a bitch.
They've had so many mechanics like
shit.
you,
Busted.
you can hijack vehicles in this. In fact, it's critical to beating the library without driving yourself insane.
Can
Because-
you destroy the Warthog?
Yeah.
Boo! 0 out of 10.
Everything can be destroyed. They've added all the vehicles like the Mongoose and like that Covenant 3-wheeled vehicle, whatever it was, is in here. I've seen like the Harrier jets in here. They've enhanced the Pelicans to where they actually have guns and they can actually help you out in combat. The Marine AI, it's actually competent this time around, so they'll actually do a lot of the work for you, just wiping out Covenant.
That's pretty cool.
The song that I was talking about was not the one that you that they play the first time you play as the Arbiter. It was actually the one.
At the very end.
It's towards the end of the game when you're in the mausoleum of the Arbiter or whatever it was called, where they kept all the dead Arbiters.
Yeah.
Okay.
I specifically remember that.
I remember that because I was like, damn, this is fucking fire. I was saying fire way before anybody else, by the way. So.
Oh man,
I love that moment though. I love that moment.
And just beyond like like this new level, this is the only new level that's really designed for the game. They take existing maps and they extend and build on them. So they make almost most of the levels are either longer or made more tolerable than they were.
Longer or girthier.
So, like, for example, in the first level when you're on the Pillar of Autumn, they add a whole section where you're going through, like, the cargo bays and things like that. Mm-hmm. For the first level on Halo, where you're going to rescue those Marines and you're going through the fields and everything, they cut it in half, and then in the middle, they add in a chapter called Alpha Base, in which you find a Forerunner structure and some Marines are fending off a Covenant assault, and you have to retake the structure and hold out against the Covenant.
Holy
forces.
shit! Was that from Halo: The Flood, the novelization of the first game?
Oh,
maybe.
My God, guys!
I read that book.
That's actually a possibility.
I read the first 3 Halo books.
As
They were
much
fucking
as
elite.
I appreciate Halo,
Elite.
I mean, Eric Noyens was a great writer.
That
on
book
series.
though was the worst of the 3 though.
you guys
because
suck.
it wasn't written by him.
You guys suck.
It was written by a different author.
Yeah.
I love Halo, but we need to move on.
This is so fucking cool.
Keep going. Keep going. This
I
is-
can't believe that they actually made the library good. Because they add in Covenant in the middle of it, and the Flood are designed to attack all factions.
Yeah.
So you can run at the Covenant as a distraction while you're being followed by a shit ton of Flood.
Man, fuck the Flood.
And use them as like cannon fodder while you're trying to make through. And there's even a halfway point where you can actually find a Wraith and take control of it and actually go through the library with that.
That's a tank.
Thank you for clarifying. We need to move on.
Let me ask you something.
God damn it, Carlos.
I got a question. So, I've been itching to
He's
get
got an
me some
itchy
Halo.
butthole for
I've been
Halo.
itching to get me some Halo, dog.
Yeah,
After my
yeah.
Destiny binge.
Play some
Yeah,
Halo
yeah.
4, bitch.
I realized I have Halo 3 and Reach, thanks to games with gold or whatever.
Okay.
I tried playing Halo Reach. It runs like crap on the 360. I had no idea of this.
I played it on the 360.
And then I started playing Halo 3, and it was really hard. So,
Well, you're just a
there's
fucking
difficulty
scrub.
modes.
Well, Halo 3 came out in 2007.
Did you put it on Legendary,
I
Carlos?
put it on
There's
not
even-
normal, the one after that.
Heroic?
Yes.
Which is why I play on.
Oh,
Maybe-
on baby's first run through of Halo, you mean? Because it doesn't count unless you're playing on Legendary?
They've added an extra... No. For this,
all you guys.
they added another difficulty level called Noble, which is even harder than
What?
Legendary. It's
No.
even harder.
Fuck all you guys. I played on normal. I don't give a fuck. All right.
The great thing about... The final thing I'll mention about this is that this...
I thought I was hosting this show.
Microsoft has a policy about Halo Fanworks in which they won't go after you like Nintendo or any of the other publishers about existing IP. As long as you're not paying for it, you're not making people pay for it, they normally don't have a problem with it at all. So this mod in itself has the entirety of the PC version of Halo 1 built into it. And all you need to activate this mod is to have an access key for a CD key for Halo CE.
So you
And you're
just
good to go.
pirate that.
No, you don't even need to. You could. I mean, you could pirate it, or you could buy a key, whatever.
Theoretically speaking.
Because I mean, it was made by Gearbox like 15 years ago. So who knows?
What?
Yeah,
All right.
the PC port was made by
Yeah.
Gearbox.
All right.
Oh, was it?
Yes, it was.
Oh.
Dude, it's,
Guys.
But yeah, it's
Guys.
its own installer. It's like 2 gigs, and that's it. All you need is the CD key. It installs everything, and then you're good to go.
Guys.
Okay, we can move on. I just thought this was a really fucking cool
No,
mod.
it's cool. And you know what? Watching it makes me want to play Halo, but we need to go.
Why is it called SPV3?
Single player version 3.
No, I don't like it.
AM2R, another Metroid 2 remake.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
All right.
It's a bad name.
That's all. That's it. We're going to move through the news at a lightning pace.
That's the coal black of game titles.
Lightning fast pace. TGS has been this week, so there's some stuff. I guess, Chris, you have a list of stuff you want to kind of rattle off. The big thing from TGS that we're interested in here is the Sony, the PlayStation conference. They did a pretty eventful PlayStation conference, so there's some stuff in there worth mentioning. I'm just going to let Chris Davis use his best judgment to decide which ones are worth mentioning.
Okay. Yeah. No, there's a couple that are dedicated news topics.
There is. I kind of only made the overlay for just the general recap. Actually, I did the Zone of Enders thing. That's separate.
And the Left Alive, right?
I didn't do Left Alive.
Okay. All right.
We'll roll that into
That's
the
a big
TGS.
one. Okay. So, Monster Hunter World is launching January 2018 worldwide.
Fuck.
January 26th, 2018.
There you go. And that's like this. No, Resident Evil 7 came out 2 days earlier. So
Yeah, but Resident Evil 7 was
almost a year to the day.
was a January release.
There's always like that one big January release.
Capcom is apparently big into doing huge releases in January now.
Dead Space 2 was a January release.
Don't bring up Dead Space.
Dead Space 2.
Don't bring up Dead Space.
They're releasing Monster Hunter for my birthday. That's why they're doing it.
Surprise announcement. They released Final Fantasy 9 on the PS4.
I'm totally buying that, by the way.
Damn.
Which this is like the 17,000th port of the game.
The worst Final Fantasy ever made?
They skipped over 8.
I will fucking fight the shit out of you.
Why?
Because Final Fantasy 9 is the best Final Fantasy ever made.
I've never played it.
Moving on.
Vanillaware is doing a PS4 port of Dragon's Crown called Dragon's Crown Pro.
I feel like
That's
game
kind
is
of cool.
It's coming out in January.
I would play that.
It has no. I looked that up.
Any
I like
vanilla-
that game, and it has no real enhancements other than running at 4K.
It's a
On PS4
Vanillaware
Pro, it
game
runs in
running.
4K.
It's a Vanillaware game running in 4K. I feel like that's
why
all
does it
that's
need to
necessary.
run in
Yeah, but I mean,
4K?
since it's sprites, you don't really get a lot of
Yeah,
improvement.
it's Dragon's Crown, right? I mean, sprites, it's all like hand drawn. Why does it matter?
Shut up.
It's gorgeous though. Let's see. 13 Sentinels has got a new trailer, which looks pretty cool. Which is the actual new Vanillaware title about mechs.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I actually haven't seen that
About
game in motion
mechs?
yet.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a
about
Vanillaware
giant
game.
robots?
Giant robots.
That was at E3. I just didn't see it.
Dude, that's fucking dope.
They announced it like 3 years ago, and it's still
They're
haven't even
taking
actually
their
shown gameplay.
time. They're taking their time.
Yeah, but that's okay. The Yakuza Studio announced that their Fist of the North Star game is coming out in February.
And they're remaking the remake of Yakuza 2. What?
What?
I think that was a Fist of the North Star reference.
Oh my goodness.
Let's see. New trailer for Shadow of the Colossus, the remake.
Yes, that looked dope as shit.
Damn.
That game is literally a frame by frame remake of Shadow of the Colossus with
Lovingly
nothing but new
handcrafted.
assets. Nothing but new assets. I cannot fucking wait.
Makes your dick hard.
It
They-
makes my dick hard,
Go.
yes.
They showed the announcement trailer for Red Dead Redemption 2 again.
Damn.
This time in Japanese.
Just to fuck with people.
Redemption.
Is that what it sounded like?
That's what do they call that?
Red-
Peppernized Japanese.
There are now 3 Earth Defense Force games currently in development.
Oh my god.
Damn.
When are they going to stop making Earth Defense Force?
Any of them got mechs?
The new EDF 5 does.
Damn.
Giant monster and robot battles.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I can't bring myself to care about EDF.
It's okay.
City Shrouded in Shadow, the Granzilla game.
Granzilla?
Yeah, the guys did Disaster Report. You know, this is the Disaster Report game I've been
No, I know.
all over.
I just
Comes
thought
out
you,
next month.
I just thought you misspoke when you were trying to say
No, Granzilla. No, Godzilla is in it.
Granzilla
Oh,
is actually the name of the studio?
Crusaders is very low
No,
key.
Granzilla is the name of the developer, yes.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know that.
He's very low key. Godzilla is in the game.
They announced Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation 2.
The
for
fuck
Japan.
is that? What the fuck is that?
I don't know.
What
really.
is it?
It's a Mobile Suit Gundam game.
What?
I got nothing.
I didn't hear. This is the first I'm hearing about this.
It's only announced for Japan right now.
Fuck
but
you guys.
Don't worry about it until it's announced for the US.
It's okay. There's a new Virtual On game.
What the fuck?
They pulled that out of nowhere, and it's an anime series tie-in called A Certain Magical Virtual On.
What the fuck? I haven't played Virtual
It's a
On.
tie into a series called A Certain Scientific.
Was Virtual On the Dreamcast? Is that what?
Virtual on Ontario Tangram was the last game.
Yeah, I played that.
I'll
take more of
that's
that.
happening.
I doubt that comes to America. I'd be surprised. Maybe.
What? That sounds so cool.
What?
There's
Battle Operations 2.
so Gungrave, which was a classic
Shut the fuck
PS2
up.
game,
They're doing
is
an-
getting a PlayStation VR port remake thing.
I like how he tacked the word
What?
"thing" on the end of that.
In
thing.
VR?
Yeah,
What? That was like a third-person action game.
Who
Yeah.
cares? It's VR now.
now it's a VR game, but it's like those PS2 assets. I think
Dude, I watched the Gungrave anime.
Yeah?
That shit's dumb.
it is.
That shit's stupid.
Okay,
You
I
heard-
kind of like the game, though.
I heard the game's good.
I kind of like the game.
People might know about Neko Atsume. That's getting a VR game because that's evidently hugely popular. And that's most of the major announcements. I mean,
except
Dynasty Warriors 9, early 2018, big deal.
except
They're only on
Noctis
9?
is going to be in Dissidia Final Fantasy
wait.
NT.
You are just skipping over like the one big one, right? Knowingly.
Okay, well, we can talk about it. So there was one big major new game announcement. It's called Left Alive.
Oh wait, okay, that's not what I was referring to.
Well, no, that's got its own overlay. We'll get to it.
Okay, fair enough.
Left Alive is, we don't know a whole lot about it. It's a Square Enix project. We don't even know the development team that's actually working on it.
Deputy Dangle says it's open world.
Supposedly, it's set in the Front Mission universe. So it's a Front Mission game.
I
but not
actually
being
know
Front
nothing
Mission.
about Front Mission
Giant
at
mechs?
all.
Giant mechs.
What the
I'm s-
fuck?
But
I'm
you play
So
as-
many mech games? I love it.
It's set in Moscow. The idea is that you're this person in Moscow trying to survive as a battle's going on.
That's cool.
You play as one of 3 different characters.
How many mechs do you get to pilot?
I mean, that's the thing. They haven't shown
About
almost any
1,500.
gameplay at all. They've shown you running around as a guy on the ground and like shooting at a mech, and that was like 5 seconds of footage.
I've seen that. That's got to be like a cock tease, right? That's got to be like later on they're gonna release a trailer where it's like the dude climbs into a mech and then it's like, oh shit, this is Left Alive.
So the big thing people are latching onto is the character art design, because the artist behind it is Yoichi Shinkawa, and he's the guy who did all the art for Metal Gear,
Damn.
Zone of the Enders.
That's right.
Just that
Damn.
wonderful like pencil
The,
kind
like,
of
stylized
art
line
style.
art?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that line art. That's so
It's really
fucking
cool.
good.
It is good.
And in
really
fact,
cool.
he's
We were talking about good game covers before.
Yeah, Metal Gear
Those are
Solid.
good game covers.
and the
They're
project.
so much better than Batman Arkham Origins.
I will. You're 3 weeks in a row. This has come up.
You brought it up.
What?
There's going to be multiple mech designers on the game, and I forget the name of the guy, but one of the mech designers is a guy who worked on Mole Suit Gundam 00,
00, yeah.
00.
Yeah. I don't remember the guy's name either.
So he's
but
contributing to the project.
That's kinda cool.
And the director of the project, Toshifumi Nabeshima, he is the guy who worked on most of the Armored Core titles.
damn.
He left From Software several years back. Evidently, this is the project he's been working on.
Damn.
What platforms is this coming to?
PS4 and PC.
Get ready for some ugly ass mechs.
I mean, the mechs look all right for what they are.
Now let's talk about the game that has some sexy looking mechs.
Quite literally, yeah.
Sexy looking mechs.
So
As long as it's not Metal Gear Ray, because
I
Metal Gear
woke
Ray looks
up-
like butt.
I woke up the other day to news that fucking Zone of the Enders 2 was getting a remaster on the PS4 with a VR mode.
What?
First of all, let me just say, I don't even care that they don't include Zone of the Enders 1. That would have been nice, but like, let's be real here for a second. Nobody cares about Zone of the Enders 1 when they're also talking about Zone of the Enders 2. Nobody cares.
and also, let's be clear: the name of the project is Anubis Zone of the Enders Mars Edition.
Yes, very weird name.
Why?
Because Anubis is the name of one of the mechs in Zone of the Enders. But
Yeah. Also, the Japanese original title was Anubis Zone of the Enders, instead of Zone of the Enders 2: The Second Runner.
I just really, you know what? I'm gonna say that for my sweat.
Okay.
Zone of the Enders 2 is getting a remaster on PS4, and that's all that matters.
It's a remaster.
Yes, because it already got a remaster, but the Zone of the Enders remaster on PS3 I heard was rough.
No, the 360 version was rough. They patched the PS3 version.
I'm
and made
hoping
it
this is
better.
like good without the need to like patch it for a fucking year before it's good. You know what I mean? I hope it just comes out and it's good.
Yeah.
So I hope they give it its due. The weird thing is the VR thing. It's fucking in-cockpit view in VR. First of all, there's absolutely no chance in hell that I'm not going to try this.
No, I don't know.
But I am also, if you've ever seen gameplay of Zone of the Enders 2, you've got to wonder how the fuck that's going to look or feel in VR, because
Well, that's
that
the thing.
is
I don't know anything about Zone of the Enders, but I've heard that the cockpit could also be described as a dick pit
or a cockpit.
or a cockpit
Yes.
because you have to climb into.
You are in the orbital frame's penis.
You have to climb into
More or less.
Jehuti's balls or whatever. It's
More or
called.
less, yes.
Jehuti.
Jehuti.
Is it really
It's
Jehuti?
Jehuti.
The idea,
Jehuti.
the idea is that all the orbital frames in the game
Jehuti.
are based on Egyptian gods. So you got Anubis and Jehuti and
Jehuti.
Jehuti.
Sobek.
What?
No, there's a bunch of different ones.
All I'm saying is
Jehuti.
I would love an excuse to play Zone of the Enders 2 again. I don't know about this whole VR thing because that's going to be disoriented as
They
as shit.
announced or they released an extended version.
You fucking
of the
teleport in that
trailer.
game.
Yeah, no, there's
How the fuck does that work in VR?
no. I kind of demand that this man sometime in the next year play through Zoe 1 and 2. And
No, just fucking wait for the fucking remaster. Play
Dude, I'll
2.
play it.
Actually,
Dude,
no. What am I
they're so
saying?
good.
You could play Zone of the Enders 1 in like a 2-hour
it's
window.
Well, no,
Really?
it's like
Yeah, it's like 3 or 4
a
hours.
5-hour game.
Jehuti.
Yeah, but I've seen they released an extended version of the trailer, and they showed a little bit more of the VR. And honestly, the way that game is paced, the way you move around the environment, and the amount of threats you have to deal with, I don't understand how this mode can be good at all.
I don't either, and that's why I'm not really going to.
They don't
I'm not
show
gonna sit
any.
here-
I mean, they don't show gameplay from that perspective.
They show a little bit, like locking onto enemies and shooting like blasts of lasers, but that's about it.
The thing is-
there's no actual like physical melee combat that happens in it, and that's like
have a
90%
feeling-
of Zoe combat.
I have a feeling the actual VR version or mode, whatever it's going to be in that game, is going to just be kind of a not watered down, but like a totally different experience.
No, because they say you can play through the entire game in VR. The entire game.
Does it come with barf bags?
I kind of feel like you need it. And again, the way the game is paced, situational awareness is fucking critical, especially during boss battles. So how you can pay attention to everything that's going on in the environment without a third-person camera, that's going to be a fucking pain in the ass unless they do gameplay balances.
You're not wrong. We do need to move on, but I got my eye on this. I'm excited. I am excited to just have an excuse to play Zone of the Enders 2 again.
Cockpit.
With that said, we need to move on to our supporters on Patreon. We have to wait. I'm sorry. There was one other news topic I just want to bring up real fast.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? Never mind. I'll save it for my 4-player minute.
Sure.
Yeah, it's too late.
I would like to hear it.
Okay, do it.
What is it?
Nier.
Oh,
Nier. Yeah, Nier's on there.
Is that it?
Nope.
Nope.
That's not it. There it is. There it is. Nier officially crossed the 2 million mark when they're combining digital and physical sales. And Square Enix has declared Nier. They're also hiring for a new Nier related project right now, and they have declared Nier a major franchise for the studio.
That sounds like the death of Nier.
Maybe
There's
eventually.
a problem.
Huh.
There's a problem. There was an interview in Famitsu that came out yesterday or today, and I believe it was with the Square Enix president, and they have decided that the direction of the company is to go towards games as a service, and they said that single-player games are no longer the company's focus.
Kingdom Hearts 3 full multiplayer.
I don't even. I can't even.
I mean, I don't want to rain on your parade, but that's what that interview said.
I fucking hate what Square Enix has become. I'm sorry.
Nick.
I'm so sorry. As long if you can just get fucking Kingdom Hearts 3 out the door, I might never look back. I might just say peace out, Square, and never look back.
Even Final Fantasy VII though,
Dude, if they're gonna fucking games as a service up that fucking Resident Evil or Final Fantasy VII remake, then fuck them.
No, I believe that they're the idea behind that statement is that for future unannounced projects.
But like, what does that mean for Final Fantasy?
Yeah, that's a good
What
question.
does that mean for Nier? Like, I don't
That's a
want to
very
play.
good question.
I don't want to play anything other than a single player focused story based Nier game.
I mean,
or
they
a single player
weren't-
focused story based Final Fantasy game. I don't want anything else.
They
They
didn't
had
say
kind
that
of
they're not
already
going to make more single player games in the future. It's just they see how profitable
It may be-
games as a service is, so
They may be
that
fewer
from a
and farther
business perspective,
between.
they're focusing on that.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. But
And they have already said that FF7 remake was going to be episodic. didn't
yeah,
they?
yeah, and but that's one thing.
So
I mean, I feel like there's no other way that could have been anything other than that because
Nick,
that
it's
game.
okay. It'll be okay, Nick.
Fuck
It'll
off.
be okay.
But
Nick, I
it
love
is
you.
cool. It is kind of
Love you,
amazing to see how far Nier has come because of Platinum Games and Nier Automata. Like, holy shit. We live in a world where Nier is now officially considered a major franchise. What in the fuck? All right.
It only cost us Deus Ex and oh god, what else can we go through from the Eidos catalog?
Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider.
No, Tomb Raider's still big. We got Shadow of the Tomb Raider that's going to come out next year probably.
Yeah,
Alright.
but like,
All right. It's all right.
is it?
We got some questions from our supporters on Patreon.
Have you
Nolan
seen-
is out this week, so I'm going to be reading these off.
Have you seen Alicia Vikander?
We'll talk about that.
Okay.
We'll talk about
She
that.
looks lovely.
She does. She does. Yeah.
That trailer sucked though.
Yeah. You know what the trailer lost me?
That trailer was real bad.
The trailer fucking lost me.
I'll take 2.
That's not where the trailer lost me. The trailer
Well, that was
lost
the last scene of the trailer.
The trailer-
So I was with it right up till that.
Really?
No,
Oh, okay.
not at all.
No, the trailer lost. No, we'll talk about it later.
Hitman's not dead. It's just not being done by Square Enix anymore.
Sorry. So, questions from our supporters on Patreon. By the way, if you're interested in supporting us on Patreon, you can find us at patreon.com/4player, and you can ask us these lovely questions every single week, get early access to all of our bonus podcasts, and good stuff like that. Early access to our top 5 videos, that kind of stuff. Our first question this week comes from the legend JP. He says, "You all have been pretty sour in the last few DC movies, but I never heard your thoughts on Wonder Woman. I thought it was the best DC movie so far. What'd you guys think?"
Did we not talk about that?
I'm pretty sure we did.
I feel like we did because
maybe we
I-
weren't recording though. Maybe it was like before a
maybe
podcast.
not. I loved Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I fucking
it
love
was really good.
I fully intend
It was
to buy that movie.
absolutely the best of the DC. I would say it's the best one since.
I liked it, but I feel it had a
Man
lot
of
of
Steel?
slow motion. That's just a personal pet peeve of mine. I don't like slow motion in movies.
It's a fad. It's a fad that's going around Hollywood right
There
now.
hasn't been a whole lot.
especially for superhero action.
There hasn't been a
Yeah.
whole lot of really great things coming out of the DC expanded cinematic universe yet.
Nope.
Um,
Not
and-
one
but I
good
think
thing,
one-
in fact, except
Wonder
for Wonder Woman.
I'm still a supporter of Man of Steel. I like that movie quite a bit. I still think I like Wonder Woman more at this point.
Oh,
But
oh,
Man of Steel.
absolutely.
Man of Steel and Wonder Woman I think are pretty good movies.
Man of Steel is a fine film compared to Batman versus Superman.
That is true. Oh, did you see who that they're looking? I forgot who it was. There was a director they announced who's supposedly going to be doing the sequel to Man of Steel, because Zack Snyder's out.
Lars von Trier.
Oh God!
Who's that?
Oh,
Who's
the
that?
Antichrist dude.
Oh no.
Oh,
I think
my
it was
God.
actually the guy who's doing.
I
who-
want to see.
I think it was the director of the Kingsman.
Matthew Vaughn.
Maybe.
That's the guy who wrote.
I want to say you're right.
Matthew Vaughn.
think-
yeah. Matthew
I think-
Vaughn's the guy who directed Kingsman.
Yeah, I think he's doing the sequel to Man of Steel, or he's in talks to do it. I don't know if it's official yet. And
I mean, that has to be way better than
Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder, but like,
And Matt Reeves is doing Batman, right?
Didn't Matthew Vaughn do Kick-Ass?
We don't even know if that Batman movie
Yeah.
is going to happen.
Matthew Vaughn. I
It's
think,
gonna happen. It just may
Wasn't he
not
like
be.
Guy Ritchie's
Who's the
best
guy?
friend or something?
Yeah.
Anyways,
I mean, if the rumors about that fucking Flash movie happen,
well, they're doing
Well,
Flashpoint.
it could be completely different.
What rumor?
They're doing the movie is called Flashpoint. The Flash movie is called Flashpoint.
So they're going to reset a bunch of the
No,
continuity.
first of
That's
all,
not surprising.
first of all,
Everything people
higher
hate.
ups at DC have said specifically that they do not have any intention of using that movie to completely reset the universe. Like, I think that's the assumption a lot of people are jumping to, but they have shot that
But
down. That doesn't mean they
that
won't
doesn't
do
mean
it.
They might not
Change
at
their
least
mind.
use it to do a little bit of housekeeping.
Yeah, maybe.
De-emphasize some characters who weren't performing commercially, emphasize others who were. This kind of thing happens all the time, people. Wake up!
Just replace Jesse
But-
Eisenberg and I'll be so much happier.
We have a
But-
Hulk.
Oh my god. But Wonder Woman, to answer your question, I think was a fantastic movie. I'm looking forward to watching that again.
Martha.
Mr. Green Toast. Who said that? Who said that? Mr. Green.
I watched the extended version of that movie. some
No,
weeks back.
we're not talking about
We're not talking about that movie.
Okay.
Mr. Green Toast said, with recent news of hackers hiding malware and CCleaner software, I wanted to ask if any of you have ever had your PC get hit with a virus, and if so, how did you fix it?
Just format that bitch, dude.
I have been hit with a virus a long time ago. I fixed it by switching primarily to Macs.
My brother trusts any downloader service whatsoever.
Oh my god.
So I had to reformat and fix several of his PCs.
Usually it's a mix of, for me it's a mix of either reformatting, switching to a Mac, and using actual reputable
But I mean, being on a
antivirus
Mac
software.
is punishment
No,
enough.
fuck
don't,
off.
People don't want to make viruses for Macs because it's already rude to the consumer.
Yeah, that's actually not true at all, because Macs are susceptible to viruses. In fact, my dad's Mac got hit with a virus last week, and I had to go over to his place and clean off the malicious files on his computer and install antivirus software on his Mac. So it does, in fact, happen. Just less often. And fuck off. Anybody else would like to answer this question?
I mean, I haven't been hit by anything that would require me to format my computers. I don't know, since I was in high school.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. And at that point, I don't think I knew enough about computers to do that. So I think I just stopped using my computer until I got a new one.
Just walked away.
I just walked away.
Do you remember that virus game that got all that news a few years ago? The idea was it was like a Space Invaders clone, except each of the individual enemies you shot were actually representative of files on your hard drive, and when you shot them, they got deleted.
Oh.
And if they go off screen, they get deleted. So you could totally fuck up your entire computer just by playing that.
That's bullshit. All right. Any other answers to this
Sounds like
question?
you would anytime you play it.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Don't play that game. Cobra asks, given the recent podcast problems with radio stations, I feel it appropriate to ask, what is everyone's favorite radio station? I don't even listen to the radio.
Honestly, when I don't listen to the radio, but when I do, it's NPR.
Yeah, KUT 90.5.
Yeah.
I like
Either the college music station or the NPR World News.
I like the college station 91.7 because they have
91.7?
hourly blocks of anything. Sometimes I'll put it on and they'll have video game music. Sometimes
yeah.
they'll have Japanese rock. Sometimes they have traditional music from the Himalayas. It's pretty fucking random what you can find.
I listened to I have my iPod plugged in exclusively almost all the time. But when Robin's in the car with me, she likes to turn on the radio, and I'm every time she does it, I'm like, I forgot I had that.
People can only handle so much metal, Nick.
And I'm a bit of a sucker for Jason and Deb in the morning.
You think my iPod is nothing but metal? I have news for you.
I have never seen any evidence otherwise.
I will show you my iPod later.
There's
if
a
you'd
lot
like.
of Carly Rae Jepsen on there.
I have one. I have one Carly Rae Jepsen song. Just one. It was one. Damn it!
Which one is that?
What the fuck do you think?
the good one.
What's it?
That's pretty funny.
I really like the NPR talk station because I like Planet Money, I like Radio Lab, I like This American Life, all that shit.
The dinner party download is pretty good. I actually like On Point. It comes on about 9 o'clock in the morning. But
I'm not awake.
the thing I like about it is that whoever does the music for it is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Because I woke up one morning and I'm listening to it on my drive to work, and they're going to break, and the break music they choose is from Command and Conquer.
Really?
Yeah, out of nowhere, just fucking Command and Conquer.
Damn.
It's a good show.
I have a huge amount of video game music on my iPod and other non-metal genres of music.
Do you have the entire Alan Wake soundtrack on?
I
there?
do. Well, no, I mean, I don't know if it's the entire one. It's like 13 songs or something. That doesn't sound like the entire soundtrack. I don't know. But I do have Alan Wake. I also listen to podcasts a lot, but those also come off my iPod. Okay. The metal button says, not sure if this is podcast discussion worthy, but I haven't really heard this discussed yet. Has 4PN been affected by the YouTube
Demonetization.
Thank you. Fiasco. Will this affect YouTube uploads moving forward? With love, the metal button.
It's not really affecting.
We'd have to be
video
making money for it to
uploads.
affect us.
Yeah, YouTube is definitely not our primary source of income, so it doesn't really affect us one way or another.
It's patrons and Twitch supporters.
Yeah.
That's how we stay afloat. So thank
we
you
just
guys.
use
People
YouTube.
like you.
We just use
Yeah.
YouTube as a means of getting our content out there, but we don't make a whole lot of money from YouTube specifically, so doesn't really affect us much. But I know it's affecting a lot of other people out there.
At this point, when we say like, subscribe, we want that for positive reinforcement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just do that to boost
We
our
like
own
positive
egos.
reinforcement.
Make us feel better, damn it.
All right.
I've definitely tried to use that to pick up chicks.
LGN10 says, hey guys, since October is really soon, what horror games do you plan on playing this month's for this year's horror month? Holy shit. Jesus
Bring
Christ.
the ruckus just subscribe.
Damn.
What horror games do you plan on playing for this year's horror month? First of all, I like how you slipped in this year's horror month like you're assuming it's happening.
Yeah, you're trying
Well,
to
now
force
we
that
have
on
to
us.
do it.
But I do want to say this is not really intentional. I didn't really do it because of Halloween.
That starts
But
in 2 weeks.
I did decide what?
It's like already September 21st.
I know. No, I mean, I started playing Silent Hill 3. I started my Silent Hill series run well over a year ago, probably almost 2 years ago, and I played through 6 of the 8 games. And then I kind of moved on to something else for a while, but I always intended to go back. And I finally felt the urge, now that I have my new PC built, I decided to set back up my PCSX2 emulator and run Silent Hill 3 because I was running the HD collection before, and fuck that piece of shit. So all I have left is Silent Hill 3 and 4.
What about Shattered Memories, dog?
I already played that.
God damn it.
What?
So-
No. What about Book of Memories?
I'm not playing that shit. I'm playing
We
that.
gonna play that shit co-op.
You call yourself a Silent Hill connoisseur.
No,
and
I'm
you won't
calling
play Book of Memories.
I'm calling myself a Silent Hill
Disgusting.
purist. Is what
Purist.
I'm calling myself. I played the 8 core Silent Hill games, the ones that are single player, story driven Silent Hill games. Played all 8 of them. So I'm playing 3. I have 4 after that. I'm gonna be playing 3 and 4 on my stream. The rest of this month and probably all through October until I finish 4, and then I'm gonna top it all off by doing my personal top 5 Silent Hill games, which is a top 5 video I've been wanting to do for a very long time. I just wanted to finish replaying them all before I did that. So
Shattered Memories, number 1.
It better be. I've been looking to play some Darkwood. I don't know if you guys saw it. It's like a top-down survival horror game.
I have not seen that.
Yeah, it was one of the first early access games on Steam. Huh. And it finally came out not too long ago.
You gonna play that on the feed?
I could.
Yeah,
I
do
might
that.
I might do that.
Who knows?
I
Who
might-
knows? We haven't decided yet. 100%.
I'm kind of interested in playing The Evil Within.
Yes. Wait,
Since
1
I've
or
never
2.
played
Yeah, I need to.
Please do. Please do. That game is dope.
There's 15 hours of footage out there you can go and watch, but I kind of just.
You're talking about The
wanna
Evil
go
Within
fresh.
2.
Yeah.
Dude, I like I said, I watched 10 minutes of it, and then I realized this looks cool. I'm officially just spoiling this for myself for no other reason than I'm kind of interested in seeing what happens. So I stopped.
Chris, you just need to play the PC version.
Anatomy.
Get rid of. You can turn off those bars so you
Dude.
actually can see things, and you're good.
Oh, Anatomy.
Play
Everyone
Anatomy.
who
It
has played
takes
Anatomy has to play
takes
Anatomy.
like 30 minutes.
It's so good.
Dude, it's so good.
It's so good,
It's so
dog.
good. I got so fucking creeped out.
It's so good.
I love that.
Hit me up
Oh.
on Discord. I'll hook you up.
Sci-fi
Fuck.
chick, you're hurting
Fuck,
my
dude.
soul. I didn't know sci-fi chick hated Evil
Carlos.
Within.
Carlos,
Oh no!
thanks for introducing me to Anatomy. I fucking love that game,
You're
dog.
welcome, dog.
Your fucking spicy memes finally paid
I like
off.
how you're high-fiving like
Just
nothing.
nothing. Yeah.
Look at my hand. It's weird. What am I? Ah!
That's my
What
dick.
am I grabbing?
All right.
3-inch stick is that?
You feel really warm under there. You okay?
Dude, I'm like dying.
All right, so let's move on. We only have one more question for the show. SMG Sterling says, "What is the best way to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? I usually mix the peanut butter and jelly together separately before putting it on the bread. Ew, what the fuck? Also, crunchy or smooth, and jelly or jam."
Wait.
He mixes the peanut butter and the jelly together and then spreads that.
Yeah, it's like those
Nobody
pre-mixed-
does that.
It's like those
Nope.
jars of pre-mixed.
Nobody has time for
Nobody
that.
does
There's
that.
only one way to make a peanut butter jelly sandwich.
Yeah, nobody does
You
that.
put the peanut butter down first.
No, you put peanut butter on both sides.
No.
To protect the fucking bread, you
No.
idiots.
From what?
The jelly is saturated with water. And if you put it directly on the bread, it's gonna soak into the fucking bread and make the bread fucking soggy.
Yeah, if
so you have to provide a moisture barrier of peanut butter on both sides of the sandwich.
But how long do you intend for that fucking sandwich to last?
I don't know, man. Sometimes
I
I make
eat
a
peanut
sandwich
butter
for
jelly
lunch
sandwich.
later that day.
I make a peanut butter jelly sandwich. It's gone within 3 minutes of me making that sandwich. Every time.
You guys are stupid. You've been making peanut butter and
There
jelly
is-
sandwiches
no.
wrong your whole lives.
First
Try it
off,
my way
toast
and
it.
tell me I'm wrong.
Post it.
Let me just say this. I think I'm going to try this, not because of your stupid moisture barrier reason, but because
That's all it is.
But no.
It's fucking physics, man.
Not
It's
because
science.
of that. Not because of that, but because you can always have more peanut butter. Peanut butter's
always have more.
fantastic.
Yeah. Sometimes
That
I
used
just.
to be my nickname in high school, dude.
You can always have more peanut butter.
I went, and also his follow-up questions: crunchy or smooth? Smooth.
No, you
but-
fucking heathens.
Wait,
no.
Crunchy.
Smooth
Crunchy
for
is
peanut
the way to
butter.
go.
For peanut butter sandwiches, smooth.
No.
No, smooth always.
No.
No,
Dude,
I mean crunchy.
It's like
I went through a crunchy.
It's like they didn't even fucking butterize it the
Crunchy's
whole way.
great.
I went through a crunchy phase a little while ago, and I went through a whole.
What's the point of
think it-
eating? Okay, what's the point of eating crunchy peanut butter? Okay, you're gonna eat the peanut butter, which, by the way, some of the volume of your peanut butter is being taken up by those peanuts, and then guess what? You're gonna shit those peanuts out whole, which means you're just getting less peanut butter for your fucking dollar.
First off, the peanuts. I don't know what fucking
why'd you bring
brand of
shit into this and
crunchy
then
you're
go-
buying, but they are
no,
not.
what I'm
whole.
saying is like you're eating
Also,
the
do
peanut.
you not chew?
You're eating the peanut, and then sometimes I don't. Okay, is that okay with you?
Because you're not making sense.
I just
here,
eat
man.
like half a stick of butter to lube up my throat, and then I just load my mouth up and kick my head back and just work it down.
I like Reborn's comment. Man, white people ruin all food. I swear. Sometimes I feel like that myself.
No, the first step is you lay down your bread and you put on the bottom slice a nice, generous layer of crunchy peanut butter. And then on the top slice, you put your jelly. Now, I'm not
Your
going to
jelly?
judge you.
Your
I'm not
jelly?
going to judge you. You can have jam, you can have jelly, you can have grape or strawberry, whatever. I'm a grape man. You know, that's just what I am.
Dude, fuck you. It's all about strawberry jam.
Why are you like this,
No.
dude?
No, and then you put the tops, because the top slice has the jelly on it, you don't have to worry about it fucking soaking into the goddamn slice of bread, so you don't have to fucking worry about that problem.
Guys, you're all eating your fucking...
But the thing you do is you take the sandwich and then you put it in the fridge for 5 minutes.
Guys.
I will agree with that, though.
You don't...
No, I will agree with that. Any sandwich you make, if you really want to get the next level flavor experience out of it, you wrap it and you let it sit for a minute, so that the layers in between the bread can squeeze together and begin to homogenize.
fuck
it.
it.
And you
Fuck all
want
that.
It
those
unites
Fuck
the
all that.
flavors. It's good for structural integrity of the sandwich while you're eating it. Nick, you can keep eating sandwiches like a fucking heathen if you want.
I will.
But if you try things the way I'm telling you, you will never look back.
Yeah, I will.
I put it in there because I like to have all the ingredients have the same temperature roughly. So I get that uniform temperature and it
I don't want
tastes
the
better.
uniform temperature. I like the different temperatures.
He's not wrong.
I like room
It's a
temperature.
little- I can
I like
understand-
room temperature bread.
I can understand
with
that
room
you don't
temperature
always-
peanut butter and cold jelly. That's what I want. That's what I want. And I eat it. It's gone. I make it. It's gone in 5 minutes. Every time. This was serious
This
business.
is the most heated conversation I
All
think
right.
we've had in a while.
We have got to wrap this show up.
Okay.
It is 11 o'clock.
Oh my god.
Guys, thank you so much for your questions. We love you. If you want to ask us questions, all it takes is at least $1 a month supporting us on Patreon. Patreon.com/4Player. We'll answer more questions next week. And now we're gonna wrap the show up with the 4-Player minute, so we can get out of this hot house. Oh no, your phone's over.
Did they turn off the AC? Is that what's
Well, they're on vacation.
No, it
But
says
like-
78 out there.
But like, there are people living.
Yeah.
All right, sorry. We're gonna wrap the show up with a 4-Player minute. Hype, sweat, thank you, or fuck you, or any combination of those. Who's gonna start us off?
I'm still loading. Right, hang on.
Carlos, do you feel like you can start us off this week?
No.
Okay, I'll go ahead. and start
Crispy.
us off. Okay. So my hype this week is for more Divinity Original Sin 2. Believe it or not, I'm really enjoying the game. I can't wait to get past Fort Joy because I'm still kind of gimped by certain things in the story. You know, I don't have access to all of my abilities and my powers because I'm in the place that I'm in. So I can't wait to get out of there. My sweat this week is actually a what the fuck. It's not a sweat, it's a what the fuck, and it's a what the fuck over the announced crossover between Let It Die and wait for it, World of Tanks.
What?
Yeah, Let It Die and World of Tanks are doing something. I don't even know what.
It's probably Let It Die skins for tanks.
I don't know, but they're doing something together. And I mean, it seems like such a natural combination. I don't know why none of us thought of it sooner. My fuck you for the week goes to... well, I have two fuck yous. My serious fuck you for the week goes to pretentious gatekeeping attitudes when it comes to video games. This is a hobby that we all play and love. You know, we should all be excellent to each other. You know, Nathan Fillion was on social media yesterday talking about the 15th anniversary of Firefly, and in his post, he said something that really resonated with me that I think deserves to be spread across all fandoms and hobbies and places of enthusiasm, and that is, to those of you in the know, to those of you in the fold, a knowing nod between us. To those who are not, we'll see you soon enough. Very nice attitude, and I think it's the way we should all be looking at video games and things that we love. My joke or actual real serious fuck you of the week goes to the Mida multi-tool in Destiny 2. Fuck that gun. Fuck that gun. Fuck
Do you
that
not have
gun.
yours yet?
I don't have mine
Oh
yet.
my god,
Fuck
what a
you.
fucking dweeb.
Fuck you.
What even is that?
And my thank you for this week goes to you, the community, because no matter how many times you've heard us say it, you still haven't heard it enough. Thank you.
Very nice. Very nice, Chris.
Okay. That's
Very nice. All right, Carlos.
Sure. I love all of you, dude.
That's not how this works.
Pretty good.
Okay.
Hey, Destiny 2. I need to stop that shit, dude. Need to quit.
This is a 4-Player minute only
Sweat,
Carlos can bring.
Me right now inside this thing. Fuck you, me. Why do I do this?
For the
I
lulls.
don't know, dude.
Do for the lols. Don't fucking lie.
That's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Man, thank you, Carlos. Thank you.
First time in years I think it's been under a minute.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
All right, Chris Davis.
My hype this week is for a game that came out today. It's called Heat Signature.
Oh, I heard about this on
From
the podcast
Tom
this
Francis,
week.
the guy who made Gunpoint.
Yeah.
The idea is that you are space pirates and you're boarding ships and you're robbing them and taking them over and it's kind of roguelike and dynamic.
I heard you can teleport people out into space and have them die.
What?
Yeah,
Yes.
there's things you can do in this game that sound pretty fucking cool. My sweat is for my back catalog because I started thinking about it today and I realized I haven't beaten a whole lot of games this year. And
You
it's
don't-
starting to eat at me.
You don't
Not to mention
say.
the games I haven't
not
even started
alone.
playing. I haven't played Nier yet. The only game I can think of right now, and I'm having a brain fart, is the fact that I beat Resident Evil 7. And what
yeah,
else did I
so-
beat?
Oh my god.
good, dog.
This is why
I
we
can't think
keep
of anything anymore.
This is why I keep a spreadsheet, guys, for this exact reason. I can tell you every game I finished, the number of games I finished at any time. Spreadsheets.
My thank you.
Spread those cheeks.
My thank you goes to Granzilla because they put out a new trailer for City Shrouded in Shadow. They have the finalized list of all the IPs that are included. Sorry, Chris, there is no Gundam. They have
Real missed opportunity.
They have the labels, but they don't have actual Gundams.
That is okay. That's not.
But it comes out next month.
That's not
I
a
am
comparison.
praying, just praying. There's like English subtitles or like English text in the menus, because there's no way this game with this many IPs is coming over to the US unless there's like a national movement. Like millions of people are just signing up for this and marching in the streets. There's no other way. Man, I guess my fuck you just goes to Square Enix because of that fucking interview. Like, I understand from a business perspective why you would go with games as a service. It makes sense. It makes you money. But
At the expense of all of the people who supported you for all these years.
yeah, and all the potential IPs and single player things that you could make that you're not going to do if you go in this direction. Fuck y'all. Also, a bonus fuck you goes out to Warner Brothers Interactive for Shadow of War. There's a Humble Bundle going on right now. And for the asking price of $80 or more, you can have, in addition to those games in the Humble Bundle, Shadow of War and a Shadow of War t-shirt. So basically you're paying for the entire fucking game and you get Humble Bundle games. Like, what's fucking humble about that if you're making people pay $60 for your fucking game?
Fair enough. I mean, you're getting free games in addition to the game you're paying full price for, right? That's the deal.
Yeah, but I mean, no, only if you do like $20 extra on top of the $60 because
Oh, well
it's $80.
Yeah. No, you're right.
So fuck them.
Fuck that.
Fuck them.
All right. My turn. My 4-player minute starts now. My hype is for Silent Hill 3 and 4. Now that I'm playing 3, the original version off the HD collection. Woo! Not to
Emulated.
mention, it looks sexy and it's running great on my emulator. I'm really looking forward to finally playing Silent Hill 3 again. And 4. I haven't played either one of these games in so long. I've been looking forward to playing them for my series run for quite a while. So I'm looking forward to all my streams in the next month and a half, or maybe it won't even take that long. I don't even know. I'll be streaming Silent Hill 3 again probably this Sunday at the latest, and then probably again next Monday night. So maybe you guys can join me for that. My sweat is to the Zone of the Enders 2 remake. Not because of the VR thing. That could be, that's hit or miss. If it's great, that's fantastic. I'd love to play another thing in VR. But mostly, I just want to make sure that I really hope that game comes out and it's a competent, well-made remake or remaster right out of the gate. Because that last one was kind of a mess, and they had to pass the shit out of it. And I'm just, I wish they could all be like the Shadow of the Colossus HD collection, or what are some of the other ones that were really good? The Metal Gear Solid collection I heard was pretty good right out of the
done
gate.
by Bluepoint.
Yeah, Bluepoint. Basically anything done by Bluepoint. I wish.
Bluepoint are the ones that are doing the remake of Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah, so I hope with that the fucking my fuck you of the week. You know what? I'm changing it right now. My fuck you of the week goes to the fucking trash people who made the fucking HD collection for Silent Hill. Man, what the fuck? That should have been like my be all end all of HD collections. Like one of my favorite games ever, and its sequel, which is also really fucking fantastic. And they butchered it. Fucking butchered it. And I know there's a long storied history behind that, why that turned out so badly. A lot of it has to do with losing lots of assets and having to kind of remake a shit ton of stuff.
But, Square Enix did the same thing with Kingdom Hearts 1. They lost the source code. And you know what they did? They fucking remade the entire fucking game.
And you know what?
And they milked the shit out of it. But that's beside the point.
You probably have to if you're going to remake an entire game. You want to make sure you recoup that money. But we eventually got the collection that's on the PS4 now, and I think the other ones are probably pretty competent as well. But we finally have a Kingdom Hearts HD collection that has 1 and 2, and even the other 3 games I think that are all they run beautifully and they're smooth and it's fantastic. So I wish we could get. I wish they make like a Silent Hill 2, 3, and 4 collection. Like redo it, have Bluepoint do it or something, and just get that out there, man. Because they owe people for what they did with that HD collection. It was trash.
Okay, fuck their Konami.
Yeah, I know. Fuck those guys. And my hype is actually for Metroid: Samus Returns. I haven't started it yet, but I'm saving it. I'm going out of town next weekend. I'll be in a flight, so looking forward to playing Metroid that weekend. So I don't know. There's not much. We haven't had a chance to talk about it yet because none of us have started it yet. But you can bet your sweet ass that we'll talk about Metroid in the coming weeks because I fully intend to play it. Is anybody else playing that game? Maybe Nolan.
I found my 3DS
did Nolan
the
pick it
other
up? I don't even know.
Which game?
Metroid: Samus Returns.
Oh, I kind of slipped between the cracks on that.
Yeah,
Tell you
that
what,
happens.
though,
That's gonna happen a lot.
if we don't talk about it in like the next 3 weeks, you know what's going to happen.
Oh, I know.
He's going to drive
don't
up
even
here.
say
He's
it.
going to kick down the door.
Don't even
he's
say
going
it.
to murder us all, and then he's going to go on a monologue.
But
for an
I'm
hour
going
and
to
a
talk
half
about it because I'm literally going to be playing it next weekend quite a bit. So, anyways, that's going to be it for our show tonight, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. Carlos, thank you for being here and sweating it out with us.
Thank you.
And I don't know why you do that to yourself. The hoodie thing, that is. Thank you guys for listening. 4playernetwork.com is, of course, our website. You can follow us and watch us play games every single night on 4pp.tv, also known as twitch.tv/4playerpodcast. Discord, you can join our Discord. It's free. It's discord.gg/4player. And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/4player. We'll be back next week. We may do it a day early next week. I don't know. So we haven't really had that conversation yet. They're looking at me. I don't know. Point is, we'll be doing another podcast next week, so hopefully y'all can join us then. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.